Models designed to evaluate teachers are psychometrically unjustifiable. Caldas notes that VAM's complexity, its huge margin of error, and the fact that it really measures correlation, not causation, as reasons for not using VAM. He goes on to state, to claim that value-added models are valid for predicting any individual's achievement would be like predicting that a specific person is likely to commit terrorism because he or she belongs to some particular religion, justifying the prediction with the fact that there's a correlation between the faith and committing a terrorist act. The American Statistical Association has come out against VAM, and in a victory for teachers, Sherry Lederman won her lawsuit against VAM in New York State. A legal precedent has been set. Voodoo algorithms, and what most teachers refer to as very arbitrary measures of our effectiveness, resulted in my loss of the $10,000 Best and Brightest bonus because my VAM score rated me unsatisfactory in learner progress, even though my AP pass rate was only 2% lower than the district average, despite embracing the College Board's open enrollment policy and having students with low grades sit for the exam. This year I learned that my students' PSAT scores were used as predictors of performance on AP exams. PSAT scores do not measure a student's effort, interest, or academic growth. I do that. I can easily predict which students will pass the AP exam based on their grade. I have never been the type of teacher to put my professional interests ahead of my students' academic and emotional interests. Unfortunately, due to the unrealistically high expectations imposed on AP teachers, I can no longer afford to place my students' interests ahead of my own. In the world of VAM-based teacher evaluations, my students are not more than a test score. They are now PSAT scores. They are a probability and potentially a liability. I love my students, but the system stinks. It is time to end the tyranny of the data czars who inflict terror with their esoteric, top-secret, ever-changing formulas, which do nothing but stigmatize and demoralize an overworked and underpaid workforce, while they reap benefits at the expense of turning teachers and students into digitized widgets whose behavior is supposed to conform to some correlated norm. VAM is a sham. We will fight against it until we end it and put the humanity back into the teaching profession.
Thank you very much. Leno James. Elias Seif. Good evening, Mr. Seif.
Good evening, Dr. Feldman. How are you guys doing? I'd like to, first of all, thank everyone for being here. The last time I was here, I didn't congratulate Dr. Gallen and Ms. Maritere Rojas, who I found out recently she was able to pass by my little daughter's school and was able to actually meet with my daughter's homeroom teacher, which is great. Thank you. Today I'm going to talk about values matter, and it has to do with fairness. In December, Miami-Dade County Schools recognizes fairness as an important value to instill in our children. It is a complex concept because it is inherently subjective. In theory, every single person can have their own definition of fairness, which brings us to the question, how do we teach fairness? Political philosophies are many times built on the concept of fairness. Our political leaders commonly use the term. We can say that to be fair is to be reasonable, and to be fair is to be just. But reasonable and just are also subjective terms. Finally, fairness is many times equated with equality, which is nothing further from the truth. Is it fair that one person is born into a family of better means, or more intelligent, sociable, or more attractive than the other? Is it fair that your siblings, friends, or neighbors had better opportunities in life, or were at the right place at the right time? All people are different, even identical twins. Illness and disability can be said to be unfair and unequal. Fair or not, some individuals will always will have inherent advantages to others. Inequity is part of life, and trying to abolish it is futile. We live in a diverse country, and we all have different and valuable abilities. We come from diverse cultures, and we have diverse opinions. And when I attended the public schools, I learned that America was a melting pot, that even while we were different, we all united as a nation with certain common principles. I would hope that our educational system understand that our mission should be to maximize our resources and to encourage our children to maximize their own full potential and not necessarily believe that raising requirements and standards equally across the board is going to achieve better results for all. One child's full potential may be very different from another. Once again, while raising minimum standards may feel good, and while it is important, I would hope that our educational system focus less on perceived fairness or equality and focus more on maximizing individual student achievement. People learn differently. They learn at different stages in life, and in those stages, they learn at different levels of speed. Most importantly, our schools should instill virtue and the idea of continual self-improvement.
Mr. Seif,
The last two concepts cannot be scored on a test.
to the end, could you,
Yes, I'm almost done. We should all recognize that life is unequal by definition, that the only collective fairness we as a people or a society can provide is equal protection under the law and a government of checks and balances. In contrast, as an individual, I would say that to be fair is to wish for your neighbor the rights that you would wish for yourself. It is my hope that our teachers explain to our children that we can only hope that everyone's sense of fairness is similar to our own, and that this has a greater chance of occurring if we promote common sets of values and that we believe in those values ourselves. Thank you.
thank you, sir. Thomas Lander. Phyllis Borenstein. Carolyn Bacallo. Bacaleo. Good
First
evening.
and foremost, let me thank you for offering me the opportunity to speak to someone immediately concluding last month's meeting. As you already know, the meeting carried over to last week, at which point I was given the opportunity to express more than just 3 minutes of my concerns for the ESE population. At that meeting, I was graciously offered a position as a curriculum support specialist, which I declined, as in my opinion, it limited my freedom of speech and put certain constraints I am not willing to accept. I come before you not as someone with malicious intent, but as someone who is seeking justice for the well-being of the ESE students. You should accept the reality that as an outsider, I have a much louder voice than an insider. My purpose is to shed light on the inappropriate education our most intellectually disabled students, and particularly those in self-contained classrooms, are facing due to poor curriculum and lack of resources. My purpose is to also raise concerns and possibly an investigation as to where and exactly how the ESE funds are being utilized across the county. Just as an example, let me remind you that last year 600 tablets were purchased for students with autism and other disabilities. Though it may sound appealing to the majority, I can assure you it is not, especially when those tablets are not equipped with the necessary software on an individual basis to meet our students' individual goals per their sacrosanct IEP. So in other words, it was money wasted and not well spent. As a teacher with a master's in endorsement in autism, I can tell you that not all students who would have benefited from a tablet. But part of the problem is that classroom teachers are not surveyed, nor considered decision makers. You see, this decision making from individuals outside the classroom leads not only to failure, but mismanaging of ESE allocation funds. Believe it or not, students still benefit from direct teacher-led instructions when provided with the appropriate tools and resources that assist in the development and strengthening of academic, social, emotional, communication, and independent skills. Moreover, I will continue to raise awareness of the inadequacies of the modified curriculum for students with intellectual disabilities. Again, I state that the current modified curriculum is not only ridiculous, but inappropriate and a violation of Florida statute and IDEA 2004. Please understand that this curriculum is far from being a major tool per Florida statute, yet ironically enough, our only tool per District Weekly Briefing 16596. I do not have the solution to an appropriate curriculum, but will work diligently on my own to seek one, contrary to what I see occurring here. If indeed all IEPs in the county were sacrosanct, as stated by an individual last month, my arguments would not be valid today, nor would I have been offered a position to supposedly make a difference. And as a school district, we would not be faced with the thousands, if not millions of dollars spent on lawsuits and mediation as a result of inappropriate and out-of-compliance IEPs. As I mentioned in my letter to you all last week, this Titanic is inevitably going to sink with or without me. Luckily, I stepped off just in time. It is now time for our ESE population to be part of a much larger, safer, and luxurious vessel at full throttle, similar to that of our magnet programs. Our ESE students cannot continue to be your forgotten population. So in summary, I will continue to push for an appropriate education and continue to question where every ESE dollar is until I get a very transparent answer.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
would the superintendent like to say something to the speaker?
Through the chair,
Please.
I believe that your school board attorney advised you via memoranda that this is an issue that perhaps we should not comment
Thank you.
on.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Patricia Host? I got that right. Reverend Dr. Anthony Tate? Gustavo Cruz? Good evening.
Good evening, Board. How are you?
Fine.
I happened to sit at the right place at the right time. I had the courtesy to at least put my name down, but the gentleman, Jose Bueno, was able to resolve the issue. I needed somebody to grab the bull by the horns, and he did. And I think within a day or two, he will provide me with a satisfactory answer.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Bueno. Teresa Fergundi? Daryl Holsendorf? Daryl? William D.C. Clark? Larry Williams? Emily Drice? Good evening.
Good evening, Chair. Good evening, Vice Chair and board members. My name is Emily Drice, and I'm coming here as a concerned parent at Benjamin Franklin, also part of the PTSA and the ESACs. My concerns are with Benjamin Franklin Rehabilitation Contraction Project versus building a new school. The school was built in 1951, where it's located in District 2. The school is like a third world facility. It is also unacceptable and must be rebuilt. Reason why it needs to be rebuilt is that the plan to rebuild was based on being a elementary school. Ben Franklin is now a K-8 center. I believe there are serious health issues with the building there and classrooms that are also making children and staff members sick. We need a center. It has no auditorium in the school. Deficient wiring for internet technology. Classrooms, air conditioners have to be turned off. They are too loud where the teachers cannot teach when they are on, and this is especially distressful in the tropical temperature. Septic tanks are broken and bathrooms are unsanitary and unhealthy hazard for their children. Classrooms and cafeteria furniture is for elementary schools. It's not equipped for middle school kids at that place. So we are subject with we are subject to ergonomical issues with furniture in schools, and the school quality, it shouldn't be based on our zip code. We're basically asking for a brand new school because being that we've been told that it's supposed to be under renovation, the school is not equipped for a K-8 center. It seemed like the plan that was proposed for the school, it was for an elementary school and not for a K-8 center. So we as the parents, also the ESAC members and PTSA are asking for a new school to be rebuilt so that it's well equipped for our middle school and elementary schools, kids.
Have you had an opportunity to speak with your principal?
Yes, we have.
And have they arranged for anybody to come out and speak to you about the general bond?
Well,
program?
they told us about the school being renovated, and being that we know even in 2012 where we voted yes for the amendment 2222, we were asking for a new school. We didn't know that it was anything about being renovated, and it's recently around the summer that's when we found out that the school was being renovated, and seeing the condition of the school, it's not equipped for a K-8 center. So opposing to what we heard about what is being proposed to us, the plan was based on it being an elementary school. It's not an elementary school, it's a K-8 center.
So to me, it sounds like you have a number of questions that you would like to have answered.
Yes.
Is somebody could help out? Mr. Superintendent?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. In fact, I believe there was a community meeting at Ben Franklin last night. It was attended by a number of concerned parents. In fact, some of the individuals who have patiently waited all day long to express your position on these important matters to you. And there was staff in attendance at last night's meeting where some of the conversation that addresses some of the questions you asked today took place. Just so that the board knows, the project scope of the implementation of Proposition 222 was disseminated well in advance of the vote and with the costs associated and the scope of work attached. It has been done towards equity, also on the basis of greater need first being addressed. The project at this point, and by the way, as I say that, there's always an opportunity, as we've done. We did it at Frederick Douglass, we continue to do it at Frederick Douglass, done a number of other schools. An opportunity to look at the scope, look at the dollar allocation, look at, obviously, based on availability of additional resources, or grade level configurations to change it, and of course that would require bringing it back to the board for approval. But right now, the project that was approved for Ben Franklin is a $7 million project, which includes a new building, approximately 200 student stations, includes significant renovation of the existing building, inclusive of electrical work, HVAC work, windows, et cetera, as we've done to other similar schools to this one. Parking lot expansion, new playground, safety and security upgrades, demolition of the portable classrooms, as well as other improvements inclusive of restrooms. Very similar prototypical renovation for a school like this one. It is my understanding there are about 70 schools in the district of about the same age. They are slated for the same type of renovation, although with a dramatically lower investment than this one. This is a school that needs considerable TLC, and that's why the $7 million allocation was made. This issue at Ben Franklin became known to me yesterday, and it does have my attention based on the community meeting that took place. But again, the $7 million investment, and I would like Mr. Torrance to perhaps address some of the issues that I didn't, is what is currently approved, with the possibility, as we've done in the past, obviously, to give it a second look. But this is, as you know, on the higher end of investment per school compared to the vast majority of projects in a district, which is fine, because we provided a guarantee of equity and need base as the fundamental theory of action as we rolled out Proposition 222. So with the board's indulgence, Mr. Torrance.
Mr. Torrance?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. I think the superintendent covered most of the points related to this. There are a number of examples of elementary schools that were converted to K-8s, very similar design, about 70 schools that were built back in the 1950s with what we call the finger design. They're very solid buildings. We have already renovated a great number of them, and all the remaining ones are slated for renovation, including, I was listening to the speaker, the issue of the air conditioners being loud. They will have new air conditioners. They will have new windows. The restrooms will be renovated, addressing some of the concerns. The electrical systems will be upgraded. And in this case, a totally new building for 200 new student stations. And this is where the facility for the middle school kids would be accommodated. A very similar project is currently underway at Myrtle Grove, formerly an elementary school, a little bit up the road from Benjamin Franklin. Very similar renovation of a school built in the 1950s, the addition of a wing for the middle school component when the school was converted to a K-8. That was not available through the resources available through the bond. Now we were able to do that. We're looking to do something very similar here. We'd be happy to sit down in greater detail with the parents, with the PTA, go over the plan and see within the budget that we have if there are things and concerns that they have that we can accommodate. We'd be more than happy to do that.
Mr. Chair, the last point I'd like to make is, I want to be clear what I said. When I said that I was unaware of this last issue, which is, hey, the community is saying, can you look at a full building replacement rather than renovation? And that was pretty new to me. The fact that we've been aware, as by the way, people have been aware for the past 25 years, that we had schools that were crumbling. Oh yeah, that's why we passed the bond in 2012. Is to exactly address these issues. And we are ahead of schedule and on budget or slightly below budget. The slightly below budget comment bodes well for situations like these, where we believe that maybe we ought to go a little deeper, a little farther in addressing really extreme issues. That's why the reserve is there, and that's why we bring to the board periodically excess amounts that were not used in different projects that are closed below budget for the purpose of reinvesting in higher case needs. This may very well be one of those. So I will be looking at it after I got reports from staff, both from facilities as well as OEO, still last night as your meeting concluded.
Okay, thank you.
So, Ms. Dries, before you leave, do you feel more comfortable?
Well, I have more parents that's also going to speak about it, but
I
until
know,
we get
but
that
do
new
you?
school, well, I'm really pushing for the new school. So once I
Well,
get that,
Yeah.
I'll be jumping for joy, and you probably won't see me as much as you will see me right now until we get that new school.
But do you have more information now than you had when you came up?
No, nothing for right now. So far, we just have to work with the board to try to get the new school. That's what we're pushing for, and seeing that we see the condition, you guys don't know what's going on. So we as parents are here to inform you on the situation with the school. The school is not equipped for a K-8 center. Elementary kids and middle school kids are colliding together. It doesn't work for us as
We
parents,
understand
so
that
that's
part.
why, yes.
My concern was that before you leave, that you've heard that Ms. Torrance is willing to sit down with you all.
Yes, yes.
That there'll be a new building for your 200 kids.
Yes.
That you will have taken care of all of those air conditioners that are making noise, take them out of the windows, put in the new windows, and the air conditioners sit aside from them, and they're very quiet. Those kind of things. At least you feel hopefully a little more comfortable that they heard and they're going to meet with you, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Yes, ma'am.
I know that we have rules that pertain to speakers when they come up, and I know we have other speakers, but I have to say too, Mrs. Dries, how proud I am of you. You made it known last night, your concerns, and you said you would be here today. And I looked at the people peeling off on that front row, and I'll get those names and I will see them personally. You all are doing exactly what you said you would do on last night. Please understand that if you ask not, you get not. Let's see where we can go with this in terms of what is needed in that school. I was there yesterday, last night, and as I was walking down the sidewalk, it was the slope that I had not entertained coming in. So there are special needs, and I believe Mr. Torrance and the team will sit with you and talk about the very special needs that you have, because they are yours. You're there every day. And I did go into the office. I went through the school. I know that there are those who say that it is on the school board. Well, if it's on us, we will come out and we will look through the school and we will do whatever is absolutely necessary. I think someone said earlier, we work for you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bendros Mendengal. Board Member Gowan, Dr. Gowan.
Yes, through the chair. I have a question that's more of a question of process. I know the board and the district have gone through an extensive effort to provide enhancement and choice options. As we continue to augment curricular programs, is there a process of reconciliation with facilities and curriculum enhancements? For example, Mr. Torrance mentioned Myrtle Grove, but I think it does bode well to have that conversation where we are nobly seeking to enhance vis-a-vis a conversion from an elementary to a K through 8, and we have on the other side of the house a facility project that is underway. Is there a process for reconciliation of facility scope with respect to curriculum enhancements? And if so, can someone please shed light on that process of reconciliation?
Mr. Superintendent?
Thank you. Yes, there is. I mean, that process exists not only for new school construction, where academic individuals, as well as usually the principal, have a great deal of input towards the physical aspects that would better accommodate the different academic programs that would be offered. During times of conversion or modification, as we've gone through, for example, at schools like Central Senior High School or some of the other high schools where we maintain a couple of the old buildings, but we built new ones. The addition of different laboratories, obviously, to conform with new programs. Sometimes when new programs are brought into schools after the school already exists, often necessitates modification to the buildings. I guess the most dramatic example of this is actually a physical alteration of a space, courtesy of the federal government using Race to the Top district grant in excess of $30 million that required the significant modification of all middle schools, all 49 middle schools, to accommodate IPREP mathematics. So yes, in an ideal world, and by the way, you see it also in not just the IPREP math, but the IPREP modifications that we've seen currently being implemented at Northwestern Senior High School, I think with grand opening sometime in January or February, but like the ones we've seen at New Orleans Senior High School and others. So form and function are supposed to work together, and the academic department and school leaders at the school site have a great deal of say over the modification of the environment to accommodate new programs, whether they are choice, magnet programs, or sometimes electives that the principal may decide to bring to the school.
Thank you. Through the chair, and I appreciate that, Mr. Superintendent. But what I heard specifically the parents speak, and I'll be remiss if I did not commend the parents for waiting it out this evening to demonstrate that whole notion of what a demand parent represents. So kudos to you all for staying the course. But what I heard the parent say is that we have in the left hand a scope for an elementary school, and in the right hand, we have a K-8 configured school. So it's not restricted to curriculum per se, i.e. a course of study. We're talking about the integration of middle school curriculum, which is a different animal in and of itself in terms of the courses that are requisite for middle school, students being combined. So, you know, I'm just trying to have us to contemplate these issues bubbling up because I'm sure parents are listening, and we don't want to open up Pandora's box with respect to our school has been converted, go down. I just think, you know, if there's a process we can contemplate with respect to specifically an elementary school scope and a K-8 converted school. Different dynamic, and to what extent that reconciliation has taken place, can take place moving forward, so that we can anticipate this moving forward.
So through the chair, absolutely right. So I took it in the direction of new educational programs, since you mentioned choice and magnet programs. But actually there's an even more rigid process for K-8 conversion. The K-8 conversion process is actually pretty much ironed, pretty much set in stone as to the process and steps that it takes. And by the way, the K-8 conversion, as the parents probably know, can be initiated by the community members, can be initiated by the principal or the board itself. And this board went to great lengths. In fact, I remember Dr. Bendras Mendengal, because the data showed years ago that there was a lack of K-8s within District 2 initially, and we ramped it up very quickly. So the process for conversion is actually an interesting one. It is an easier one to expand a school into a K-8 going from an elementary to middle than the other way around, as counterintuitive as that may be. Reason being is that the physical alterations to the building are much more severe when you go the other way around. Specific to restrooms, specific to the inclusion of a restroom in the early childhood grades. So it is always easier to create a K-8 out of an elementary school than it is to create one out of a middle school. Different ways have been followed to get there, obviously. And by the way, the vast majority of them have been from elementary to K-8. When that conversion takes place, assuming the facility itself can accommodate the kids. And I will, again, have to go deeper, as we will, with regard to the renovations are anticipated here, scoped out, to ensure that maybe some of the concerns regarding the transition from elementary to K-8 are envisioned as part of this scope. But look, I listened carefully to what the parents said, and I heard Ms. Price's determination that she's going to keep coming back until the new school is delivered. It doesn't really work that way. We appreciate the courage and the voice, but this board has made a promise of equity to the community. And sometimes when you significantly augment an allocation, it comes out of another zip code, another district. So it's a balancing act. But we're going to look at this, just like we're going to look at the conversion, and to see if, in fact, in the process of the conversion from elementary to K-8, there were some detrimental impacts seen as a result of two age populations coming together within close quarters that may not be ideal. That's something that obviously we look at as well. And I believe that was sort of the direction that Board Member Gallen was taking it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I just have some experience in this space. When I became superintendent, the first initiative that I did was to convert 3 elementary schools to K through 8, but that decision was predicated on the facility, not the other way around. So if you make the curricular decision, you want to anticipate what the facility needs are going to be. So I trust that this process will be looked at, and I just recommend, only because Mr. Torrance mentioned Myrtle Grove, but we are one school district, one community, all schools, all children, and I just recommend that we anticipate that in other areas. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Board Member Navarro?
Thank you, Dr. Feldman. Just a question. After the board takes action on a K-8, and I believe that, like the superintendent said, it goes through an extensive facilities review, does that come if the school, for example, is identified to be able to have the capacity to have a K-8, and it comes to the board as a recommendation, and significant capital dollars are needed, does that come to the board as an amendment to the 5-year capital plan?
Yes, that would have to come as, if capital dollars are needed to implement a K-8, it would come to the board first as in the 5-year capital plan. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Torrance.
Thank you very much. Board Member Navarro.
Mr. Chair, just,
Madam Vice Chair?
thank you. Just to relieve some of the concerns of the speaker, Mr. Superintendent, how long and how difficult has it been to convert some of our other schools to K-8?
Well, it varies. Usually not, in terms of the approval, some have taken some time. In terms of once the approval is granted to the actual conversion, fairly swiftly. It doesn't take a great deal of time. Now, this can be somewhat complicated when you made a conversion or are about to make a conversion, and that coincides with significant bond investment or capital improvements. And that can complicate things a little bit. But look, we have extensive experience in doing this. How many K-8s do we have currently in the school system, Ms. Brown, through the board, through the chair?
40.
You can give a Russ Wheatley answer. No. Not really.
Try not to.
My point is that
Lots.
we have a lot more K-8s today than we did 8 years ago. The conversions have been methodical, guided by very specific guidelines, following some of the things that Dr. Gallen addressed, meaning, is the facility, number one, the best match for this type of programming, or would the investment be reasonable within the timeline? And I think we have considered and actually been successful at any one of those. But I think the issue here is slightly different, right? I mean, I think there is a real desire for the parents to have a new school, and I understand that. And that hinges on the availability of funding. Quite frankly, actually a little bit more, whether the school could be demolished and a new one built. We don't just do that unilaterally. It requires state approval based on what's called a Castaldi study, where the state needs to give us approval to replace a school. It's not just a decision of staff. And there are only X number of schools in a district that actually qualify for that. I didn't want to get into all these details, but suffice it to say that we're going to take all the conversation from the policy side as well as your voices, which we appreciate hearing, in terms of perfecting and bettering the ultimate product that will be delivered at Ben Franklin in the near future. And that takes into account the funding that's available or could be made available, the need, the existing condition, and the latitude within the state that we have to do something different if it is possible to be done.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Superintendent. I think that was a lot on the simple question, but now people have a great idea of the extent and to the question. You're obviously going to get a lot of help. Okay, Natoya Williams.
Good evening. I am a concerned parent as well, but this is all I have to say. This is the Miami-Dade School Board, and for all that has been explained here and all that has been said here, I will hold the board accountable. I don't want to go home and tell my 9-year-old daughter, you will not become an engineer because your school doesn't have the facility to teach you to become an engineer. All I'm asking for my child and every child in our district is to have the school, make sure the school is well equipped and facilitated to help our children to reach their full potential, regardless of where they live. They could be here from in Dade, or they could be from West Palm Beach, or anywhere else in Florida. I just want all these children to have the opportunity to excel in whatever they do. So even if we're not going to get a brand new building, please just give us a proper facility where these kids can excel. Because already the system is beating us already. I don't want to bring race in this issue or anything. But I'm standing here and I worry about my children. We're black, We're black, and we have a lot of odds against us. So please, just give us the tools so we can help ourselves to become worthwhile citizens. Thank you.
You're very welcome, and we're not going to let you help yourselves. That's what we do up here. We provide for you, and as you said, this is across the board, whether you're in the North End or whether you happen to be living in a labor camp in the Everglades. It is the same thing for every one of the 9 of us. We have told everyone time and again, we will work our hardest to make sure that every children means all, no matter where the zip code is. So I understand what you're saying, and you've heard also that they're going to be meeting with you, and that gives you the opportunity to then effect change right there at your school. Okay. By the way, have we started the work over there?
We have commissioned the architect. It is in design. We've commissioned the CM. They're already about 25% into the design phase, so it's early on. And I'm confident that the product that we're going to deliver at Ben Franklin is up to our standards. The facility that is renovated will be, as it has in other schools that we've already completed, be up to today's standards as far as the air conditioning, the lighting, the condition of the restrooms. So we still need to sit down and explain it, obviously, to the parents, and we're prepared to do that.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Torrance. Lisa Pierre? Sorry.
Great evening,
Good evening.
everyone. Lisa Pierre, Benjamin Franklin, PTSA president. First, congratulations to the newly elected members and the re-elected members. And Dr. Gallen, I voted for you, so. Thank you for bringing light to one of my concerns. I do feel there's a lack of activities for the children, and I, as a parent, as well as the PTA and the other members at our school, have been trying to do it on our own. So I'm glad to know that we're not alone. Now, I didn't want to talk about separation, or I'm not going to use the other term, but the difference in the zip codes. but it just keeps coming back to it. And you said it's a balancing act, and the scales need to be balanced. I have visited other schools. Where they have a pre-K building just for the pre-K. Why can't we get something? I'm not saying we have to be like everybody else, but why can't we get something that's even close to that? My child has a hearing problem. She has to wear hearing aids. But because the air conditioners are so loud, she can't hear. So she has to take the hearing aids off. And she has been an honor school student from kindergarten up till this year. She's getting F's and D's and C's. And I don't do that. We don't do that. She comes home every day sad and depressed because of that. But I'm not just concerned about my child. I'm her mother, but I am parent to 600 children. And all those kids would have, you can see the thirst, and I hear it, I see it in them. They have such potential. They have a light in them that is waiting to find an opportunity to shine. But it's like there are roadblocks. And it's not just failing technology and crumbling buildings and equipments and furniture and whatever else. There's also a lack of information. I did not know about La Belle France program. Et je me débrouille assez bien en français. Which means that my people, and by my people I mean my community, my students, would have benefited, would have enjoyed, would have appreciated just given the opportunity. Whether or not they accept it and what they do with it is a different thing. But we need to be exposed to whatever else is going on everywhere else. And with all due respect, I am not accepting beautification of the school. A slap of coat paint is not going to fix our issues. It is dark in there. The parking lot floods. The ceiling leaks. I don't have those issues in my home. So why should I accept it from the school that I send my children to? I know I'm going over time, I'm sorry. But when you send your children to school, you know two things. They are going to be well educated and they are going to be safe. I can't honestly say that. I am at the school all the time. Not because she has a hearing problem, she can take care of herself. But I am there because I just feel like I need to be. Because there is so much more that needs it. There's a lack of, we're not ADA compliant. When I registered her, I had come from a terrible car accident. I had been paralyzed, and I was walking on a walker. I fell twice going in there because the school is not equipped for someone with a physical disability. She's not getting any kind of help because there's not enough funding or there's not enough teachers or whatever it is to help her or any other children with disabilities. But what about the ones who don't have disabilities and who are just stuck because they can't go forward? They want to, but they're stuck. We are a K-8 center now. We have so much more that we want to do, and we want to expose our children. Someone had mentioned earlier, a lot of children have not gone outside of their neighborhood. Well, even if they don't travel physically, we want them to travel. We want them to, while they're sitting in that school, to know everything that is out there in that world. So I'm going to leave. Thank you very much for the extra time. I am inviting each and every one of you guys to visit this school, to actually know. I was told last night we don't meet the 60% threshold, whatever that means. I don't know how. When the schools that I visited, I have never seen pipes, I don't know if it's electrical, plumbing, or whatever, exposed. We have outlets that don't work, the computers that don't work, Wi-Fi doesn't even exist. So I want you all to come and spend a whole day. Sit on that cafeteria bench a whole day and tell me, even if the babies can't take it all day, let alone the middle school children. We want to do so much more, and when you say you're going to give us a new building, you're taking space from a land. We want to have agriculture. We have children who are interested in agriculture. We have children who are interested in the sciences, veterinarians. We don't have anything. I understand it's a middle school, but why not start now? Why do we have to wait for them to get to high school to expose them to all the things that they can be, so they can know what they're going to be, what they want to be, even before they get to the high school? By then it's, I don't know. Thank you.
Ms. Beer, I will just tell you this. The people in front of us hear you. You're not the only one out there. You may feel alone right now, but there are far worse schools that haven't even started their projects yet that I have to deal with in my area. And they have crumbling walls, and they have exposed pipes. But what I don't get is, and someone will help you later, when you say that you have no Wi-Fi, that's hard to take. I know what the superintendent has done with every single school. So if someone needs to, what I'm hearing as a former principal is someone's not giving you enough information. You need to have more information about what's going on at your site and what you could do in conjunction with your administration to get folks out there, and I think you're hearing it, to help you with all those pieces. That's what they do. They do that. And they're listening, and we're all listening, and we don't forget. And the superintendent has made a lot of comments to you specifically for your school that he has asked Ms. Torrance to go out there and check. So give them a little time from this point, because they didn't have it prior, but hold our feet to the fire from this point. Maybe in January we get an update, and then we'll know what's going on. Maybe in February we get an update. We speak about our construction programs every single month, and as a matter of fact, Dr. Gowan happens to be in charge, I believe, of facilities. So we'll hear about it, and we'll make sure that it's on course, and just give them a shot at trying to relieve some of your apprehension and some of your angst, okay? And as far as your lovely daughter, I would think that, again, someone's listening, and they will meet with you before you leave here to see what they can do to help, okay? And I'm sorry you had to wait this long to tell us. Thank you. We have 4 more people that have asked to speak, and it would take a vote by the board to do so. We have a motion to accept the 4, and we have a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Joy Jackson. Jalea Vazquez.
Good evening. Hello.
Yeah.
Hi. My
Hi.
name is Jayla Vazquez. I'm an educator at Coral Reef Senior High School. I'm here to speak about also the covariance adjustment model that is given to advanced placement teachers. I teach an advanced placement course at Coral Reef Senior High. My pass rate in the 2014-2015 year was very high. It was 23 points above the national average, 40 points above the district average. In the 2015 and 16 year, again, my pass rate was 34 points above the national average and 40 to 50 points above the district average. However, with this covariance model, advanced placement teachers are judged whether they're effective or highly effective based on their students' PSAT scores, which is fine. It's a score, I understand. However, I teach a class that is multiple levels, from 9th to 12th graders. The 9th graders do not have to take the PSAT because they have to pay for it. So, in my scores, my freshmen, 25 one year, 24 the second, did not count towards my score. Therefore, in 2014-2015 year, my points did not reach the full potential. I received 26.25 out of the 34. This year, I was blessed to have an extremely high pass rate in which I did receive the full 34 points, which is great. I was very blessed. However, I don't find it fair that my freshmen do not count towards my VAM score. I do feel that this model needs to be dialogued. It needs to be talked about. It needs to be out there. It's a concern to me as an advanced placement educator that if I were to teach World History Honors, I would have had my full 34 points both years. I would be highly effective. I wasn't highly effective one year because of the VAM. That was very unfair. That was $7,000 that I did not get because of the VAM. This year, again, I was very blessed that my scores were very high. However, I am concerned about next year. I'm discouraged to teach an advanced placement course. And I know the school system receives awards for teachers that teach these subjects. We bring in money to the school system. So to me, I'm discouraged. Last year, I felt I don't want to teach AP anymore. This is something that needs to be discussed. It is very unfair. Thank God, again, this year I was blessed. But many of teachers that teach the course that I do were not blessed like me. So I'm just bringing this to the board so that you can understand the concerns of an educator as myself who goes above and beyond for her students. And I was hurt by this model. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Mr.
And
Chair.
we, Board Member Gallen, Dr. Gallen.
Yes, through the chair, not specifically regarding any individual teachers or issues, but this whole notion of BAM has continued to resonate, and I'm very much aware of the superintendent's position relative to the statute and how, in many cases, it causes a degree of unfairness. But I think it's important if staff can speak to the requirements of SB 736 on one end, so that we can review the fact that it is pursuant to law. However, I do believe that there is a great degree of ambiguity on the part of teachers relative to how is the VAM score derived. Specifically, I have a question about the derivation of the VAM score for a teacher who has students for 2 consecutive years, but did not have students who participated in an assessment vis-a-vis the accountability system. So those are some questions that are resonating, and I think they continue to perk up because as the stakes get higher, it's getting real out there. You heard the teacher talk about compensation. It has implications for 3 to 4 things. Compensation, obviously, evaluation, termination, and eventually, career advancement opportunities. So it has some serious implications. And if we start to go a little deeper in terms of how do the various VAM scores resonate from one community to the next, that's a whole nother issue. But I guess 2 questions I have. What process have we gone through to provide clarification at the district level in terms of articulating how are the VAM scores derived, and what have we done to convey with clarity how VAM scores are derived from teachers who don't have students in an accountability group?
Something you want now, or something you would like in response in writing for people?
For the sake of time, I think it's something in writing. I'll accept that. I'll defer to the
That's okay,
superintendent if they
unless
want to
you're
speak.
prepared.
This is the second speaker on this. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So I'll speak about it briefly, and then we'll provide the board more information, because this is a really complex issue, extremely. And Board Member Gallen, you heard 2 speakers today. You'll continue to hear from speakers about this issue, because we've been hearing about this for quite a while. And you hit the nail on the head. This is the perfect storm coming together as the result of state legislation, compounded by additional state legislation, so Senate Bill 736, which, in a nutshell, specific to this issue, mandates student data be used to drive a certain percentage of a teacher's evaluation, side by side with, obviously, their own professional development plan, as well as the principal's observation. 736 is a big part of this. The second issue is best and brightest. And I've spoken about my position on best and brightest, which is, do we believe that that is the best way of rewarding teachers when the qualifying criteria rests on data that precedes that teachers, to a certain extent at least, performance today. And then VAM. And there are possibly, and I have to be honest with the board, about 4 years ago, I asked our own staff to sit with me, and I have formal training in this, to sit with me and explain the VAM formula, the state of Florida's official value-added model formula. There are a number of them throughout the country, but ours. And I got through it. But I can tell you one thing. If we do not understand something, we do not embrace it. The formula is far too complex and, in my opinion, not just my opinion, the opinion of many, excludes some factors that scientifically have been proven to have an impact in the classroom. So while the formula, for example, recognizes the number of students who may be English language learners, the formula discounts the number of students who may be on free and reduced lunch, even though other states have adopted VAM formulas that includes those. And then there's the added stress point of advanced academic coursework, where you may have, and the speaker's absolutely right, now you're not just talking about 10th or 11th or 12th grade English language arts, you're talking about a subject area where on the basis of the performance of a student and their ability and progression, you may have a 10th grader, 11th grader, 12th grader, and a 9th grader in the same class. And this does happen sometimes. The state never envisioned these nuances when it approved back-to-back 736, demanded the use of a VAM that excludes some of these factors without clearly understanding how real life really works. And by the way, I only scratched the so-called tip of the iceberg on this issue. It gets much more complicated. The state has improved in some areas. I mean, there was a time when teachers were, in my opinion, egregious way, being evaluated in terms of the objective data based on students they never saw. And we complained, and modifications were made to state statute to perfect that. So this is a system that sadly is impacting not a huge number of teachers, but I tell you, for that teacher who feels, in my classroom, I was deprived of a percentage of total possible points because of this, I feel for it. So this is something that we continue to analyze. Part of it, I can tell you, we may have some success here at the local level going into next year in terms of eliminating through conversations with the union, because a lot of this is negotiated. But we have some pretty good ideas on how to solve some of these elements that were created as a result of coming together of massive pieces of legislation that never anticipated this. A 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grade student, and the reliance on certain data elements that aren't available for a certain number of students within that class just on the basis of their grade. Yeah, so complex issue. We will follow up with additional information, but this is one that touches me deeply. I understand. I taught AP, physics, chemistry, calculus. Before VAM, before 736, it was hard enough then to get kids to pass the College Board exam. Now to have this additional pressure, I do see it as a significant liability.
Thank you very much, Mr. Superintendent. Board Member Rojas?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Mr. Superintendent, for that very eloquent response that you just gave our colleague. I would like to also state, for the record, that I have spoken to countless number of teachers, and not just those in advanced placement, regular classroom teachers who are having an extremely difficult time understanding the whole VAM process, and principals who are trying their very best to try to explain it, but still also having difficulty, because if the state is themselves were having difficulty, from what I understand, how can they do the job and let those poor teachers in those classrooms who are doing their very best, giving 150%, and then they don't get the rating that they feel that they deserve and that they all probably should receive. So what I would like to maybe put out there for possibility of implementation is that there is some kind of training for those principals so that when they are in those schools trying to explain to the teachers how the VAM process works, that it makes it easier for them, because these principals are doing their very best, but it's very, very, very convoluted at times and very difficult for people to understand.
So through the chair, great idea and concept. Sadly, I'm going to be very honest. And I don't know what subject areas the speaker teaches. Okay, human geography. I can assure you that even individuals with advanced training in statistics and modern mathematics will have a difficult time explaining the formula itself. I'm actually, just for the board's edification, I'm going to send you the formula with all the descriptors. And I feel, part of me feels bad. We've tried to explain this formula to our leaders. It is exceedingly, exceedingly difficult without a high level of mathematical training. Even with that, I submit to you, part of the delta that exists between the understanding and the acceptance is the fact that by design, the VAM formula used in the state of Florida lacks certain factors that we know should be in it. It does not account for them. So, and that's why, I remember when this discussion first started statewide, I was a strong opponent of using VAM, strong opponent of using particularly the value-added model that was adopted by the state of Florida for those two reasons. Its complexity, lack of transparency, and lack of all of the factors that we know are important in terms of logically, legitimately, honestly assess, devoid or inclusive of those factors, whether a child under the guided teaching of a teacher over a year period of time learned as much as that child was expected to, exceeded or fell behind on the basis of the statistical model that was used. Very difficult to explain. We will do it, we will try once again, at least for our leaders, but I can tell you that the formula, once you see the formula, you will understand what we mean. That putting principals in a position of attempting to explain a mathematical formula that is so complex that the state itself has a difficult time explaining how it works would be exceedingly difficult. And I think to a certain extent would cause more questions than, would create more confusion than not, but we'll give it another chance. I mean, more education is better than less. We've sent out a number of briefings over the years. We're going to try to send out an additional one that's a bit more simplified for the purpose, perhaps actually directly to teachers alongside our school leaders, that attempts to explain. But I want to be very clear, it's going to come with this disclaimer that this is the state's position, not one necessarily endorsed by this board or this superintendent, that this is a mere application of state law, and that we continue to try to influence the legislative process to address some of the overly complex nature of the elements within the formula for the sake of the system's believability to a teacher. I mean, this is really, talk about a demoralizing potential effect. If you do not understand how you received that score, your worth as a teacher may be questioned. That is quite shameful. We've tried to be reassuring, and that is why each year that we sit with the union, and Ms. Adotras is here, Ms. Wiseman is here, each year we've sat with the union, we've been very lenient on the percentage that counts towards the evaluation generated by VAM. We could use it to a greater latitude, but we try to minimize it because of our concerns over its legitimacy, its application, and the lack of understanding. So to be fair to teachers, we try to keep the impact that VAM will have on a total evaluation as low as possible because of these exact circumstances. I thank you for the opportunity to speak about this. This is a hot button issue. and one that we hope will be further refined at the state level. You have my commitment on that.
Thank you, Mr. Superintendent, and I can assure you that if those teachers receive that document and those administrators at those schools, that they're going to be extremely pleased and extremely grateful for the attempt made by administration and the board members to get the clarification that they so badly are asking for at this time. So thank you very much, and thank you to our teacher who was here today. We appreciate your input, and I believe that, I don't speak for myself, I think I'm speaking for all the members of our board. We hear you, we feel for you, and unfortunately, like the superintendent says, some things are beyond our control, but whatever we can do here, as far as the board members are concerned, I assure you that it will be done. And hopefully, at least with this documentation that is going to be sent out to you all, you'll have a better understanding of the process. So thank you again for being here this evening.
Thank you both. Just a reaction. Understanding it and its complexity will not help relieve the angst that they have for being unfairly judged. So maybe a bigger question just to consider from the board. Is there anything that we are allowed to do legislatively or legally to question that particular model in lieu of us using a different model? Have we tried any of those remedies or try? Sir?
Through the chair, and your expert attorney probably can chime in on this as well. Actually, Senate Bill 736 has been litigated. Actually, it's been taken to higher level courts on the basis of this very issue. And the courts have sided with the Department of Education, State Board of Education, as well as the legislative position that enabled some of these processes. I cannot speak to challenges specific to the value-added model formula utilized by the state of Florida, but that is approved within 736. And again, Mr. Harvey, I don't know if you want to speak to it, but it has been litigated, okay, and the opinion of the court has sided more than once at different levels of the court system with the state's position on this matter. What we can do is not give up, number one, is to continue to bring these issues based, as I said, on the nuance that we observe in one specific classroom. In terms of the overall picture, I don't see legislatively this being modified. And the other thing is continue to look, using our very qualified folks like Dr. Froman and Alex Schneiderman and others, at ways where we continue to soften the impact of the formula and then have the appropriate conversations with our teachers to implement a better application of something that's flawed to begin with. And even as I say that, my mouth resists my own mind, because if we know that there is a degree of flaw associated with it, why would we be doing it? And the answer, sadly, is because we are legislatively mandated to do it, and part of this has actually been tested in the court of law.
Dr. Gallen?
Yeah, through the chair, I think that was a very, very excellent point. Thank you, Superintendent. I concur. I think there may be two pathways that can be explored. One is obviously through the legislative pathway. I don't know if that's a part of our legislative discussion or platform that we're looking at. And the state has been somewhat, they've conceded to some extent. Initially, SB 736 addressed 50% based on student performance. Now they moved it down to 33%. So they have made some slight adjustments. That's number one. So I think we have to continue to press upon that, because when they came out of the gate with SB 736, it was 50% right, based on student performance, and that has been abated. Secondly, the superintendent did reference that there may be some latitude as they collectively bargain and discuss with the union at the local level that we can explore to mitigate the impact at the local level. So those are two pathways that I think will be prudent, that we don't relent, and I think this is not a local issue, this is a national issue. There's a big case in Houston, and I think they're gonna prevail in Houston. They are really moving forward in Houston in terms of filing that lawsuit, and they're going to prevail because of the disparities that it's creating and just the ambiguity around the formula. So I do think those are two critical pathways, one at the state level legislatively, and one where we have latitude within the framework of SB 736 here at the local level in consultation and collaboration with the union. Thank you.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, sir.
One last point. I do
ahead.
believe that I agree wholeheartedly. I think we said the same thing in slightly different ways. I believe actually one of the court cases is still in the process from FEA that addresses this issue. It still has not been finalized, number one. Two, as a public service announcement to our teachers, to the extent you really want to understand a little bit better how the VAM works, actually some of what you had been asking is already at their fingertips. If they go through the employee portal, each teacher who generates a VAM, as they access their VAM score on the portal, they have direct access to an FAQ document that attempts to explain and answer some of the questions. But I'm going to say it again. I am a man of average intelligence, not above average. I struggle with my own understanding, and I have formal training in this matter. I struggle with understanding the value-added model formula. But there is an FAQ document. I encourage teachers to read it as we go back and try to be more successful in explaining something that to a certain extent, if I have not been clear, is pretty inexplicable just on terms of its foundation.
Thank you, sir.
And just to your
School
point,
board
Mr.
member?
Superintendent, I believe they are aware, they're cognizant of the fact that they have that. It's just extremely difficult, like you said, to understand. And so that's why I bring up the point that maybe through the other option, it might make it a little bit easier for them to understand. Thank you.
Thank you all. Good conversation. Elizabeth Judd. Elizabeth Perdomo.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm here today as a Miami-Dade County Public School teacher and also as a parent to discuss with this board and to inform the public about the use of technology in our school system. Before I begin, let me make clear that I have never received any negative evaluations or reprimands about my performance as an educator. In fact, the opposite is true. I state this because I will be revealing some information today that Miami-Dade County Public School may not want the public to be privy to. I am protected by the Whistleblower Protection Act of 1989 against retaliation or threat of retaliation because of disclosure of this information. Any change to my current teaching assignment or a sudden change in my repeated positive evaluations will be immediately construed as retaliation. Why is I-Ready being pushed down our children's throats, even though there are so many problems with it? It is said that to know the truth, you must follow the money. I have personally witnessed the program neglect to record lessons that children completed right in front of me. Then teachers grade participation in the program, and the students end up getting zeros. The lessons are long and boring. I invite each one of you to do just one 5th grade lesson. And to truly show empathy to our ESOL and ESE population, let's have you complete these lessons in Mandarin or in mirrored image. Then imagine having to redo the hour-long lesson because you failed it. There is no consistency in the way teachers are using the program. Most teachers grade participation because, let's be honest, the students will not do it otherwise. Some teachers have told the kids, just put it on and let it run for 45 minutes, just so they won't get harassed by their administrators, who are also getting pressure from Miami-Dade County Public Schools. Others assign ridiculous amounts of lessons, like 15 per week, causing extreme frustration and major conflict with the school board's policy on homework. According to a policy A 5th grade student should have between 45 minutes to 60 minutes of homework per day. But some students must do 90 minutes of iReady reading and 90 minutes of iReady math a week, plus Reading Plus, Edgenuity, and other programs. After computer programs, there is no time for on-level homework. Did I mention that iReady is not on grade level for most kids? Yet teachers' evaluations are based on FSA scores achieved at grade level. Homework should be meaningful and reflect what the teacher is teaching in the classroom. Class lab times, where students could be completing some of the numerous computer requirements they have, are being canceled to accommodate school-wide testing. I have been told that we are expected to receive several carts of laptops and tablets to alleviate this concern. We don't need more computers. What we need is less computer programs and higher teacher salaries. Furthermore, direct teacher instruction and class time is being replaced with these computer programs, justified as differentiated instruction. iReady is not differentiated. Not all students learn by sitting in front of a computer screen and watching an animated story. iReady diagnostic tests, which weigh heavily on class placement and in some cases promotion or retention, but these tests are not secure. In one particular case, a former middle school student who was at a 2nd grade math level tested at a 6th grade level on the iReady end of the year diagnostic. I'd like to take credit for this miraculous growth, but he admitted to me that his tutor did it for him while he was in class. Not even with him, for him. Bottom line, the use of technology is supposed to be a positive aspect of the 21st century, not a means of replacing teachers and lining the pockets of crooked politicians. Parents, teachers, and stakeholders, please ask your board members, why is there such an emphasis on iReady? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Perdomo. That concludes the public hearing for today. Fortunately, we get to go back and finish the agenda. And our vice chair will take us, return us to the agenda.
But before we do, I would just like to thank you for speaking to us, and at least I will look into that and get back with you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming, and it's nice to see your daughter here as well. Thank you. All right, we return to D68, and we have Ms. Rojas to speak on that.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Well, actually, I have a document that I'd like to pass. First of all.
Okay, and while we're
If
doing
you could please
that,
pass that down.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
This is a request for approval of the school calendar for the 2017-2018 school year. Ms. Rojas.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. I have some recommendations for the school calendar ad hoc committee to consider for the next time that they meet for the 2018-2019 school year. There are many school districts that are including in their school calendars a fall break. Basically, what they are doing is either having the Wednesday before Thanksgiving as a holiday, not a teacher workday, or having the entire week designated as fall break, and each day of the week is a holiday. You have the document that I have passed with different counties identified, and when you look at the list, you will see all the different options available. This will provide parents to have family vacations, visit relatives who live outside the county, and quality times for special relations and enjoyment with their families. It may also offer some financial incentives as having schools and offices closed for those days. May provide a savings for utilities, transportation, food service, etc. Perhaps we could do a study to determine what the attendance rate is for students and employees during those days, since the M-DCPS calendar has Wednesday before Thanksgiving as a teacher planning day, opt-out. Do teachers take personal days on Monday and on Tuesday? What about other employees? I know that this recommendation may have some instructional issues that may have to be addressed. Also, the traditional holidays may be subject to collective bargaining, but I think we should at least explore the possibility of a fall break for students and employees. Thank you, Madam Vice Chair.
Thank you. Any further comment on D68? If there is none, yes, Madam, Ms. Castillo.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I wanted to thank Ms. Rojas for bringing this up. You know, when I was talking about homework, one of the issues that I brought up that was felt is important for families to spend that family time. And I really don't know how the teacher pay, how this affects the teacher pay as far as the teacher planning day, as for whether giving them a teacher planning day or making this a holiday. So I don't know how, I guess that would affect us financially, but I think it's a great idea and something for this board to consider. Thank you, Ms. Rojas.
Thank you. All right, any further comment? All right. Yes, Ms. Navarro?
Yes, I noticed also that obviously November 21st is set by statute in terms of the organizational meeting of the board. I'm not sure if we have the date. I believe we just approved it, the date for the board meeting in November 2017. Yeah. Because to her point, to Board Member Rojas's point, I believe that's also a school board meeting day. And just to agree with what they're saying, I believe that that is a family day. A lot of families travel to be with their families. It's the 15th, this coming year. Okay, perfect. I think I'm hearing Ms. Izquierdo say that this coming year, it is the 15th.
Through the chair, the board meeting for November 2017 is on Wednesday, November 15th. The organization meeting is set for November 14th, 2017, which falls on a Tuesday. Thanksgiving is the week after.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, perfect. So in 2017, it works out. So just moving forward, maybe that's a recommendation. If the week of Thanksgiving, the school board, to schedule the school board meeting prior to that. The organizational meeting, when we have to have the organizational meeting, is set by statute. But I think the school board meeting could be something that could be looked at.
Through the chair.
Yes, Mr. Attorney?
I'll be very brief. During election years, the organization meeting is set by statute to be 2 weeks after Election Day. It must take place on that day, and officers must be elected that day. In non-election years, the board has discretion to set the organization meeting any date in November. So I think what happened in this case is they exercised their discretion to move the organization meeting up so that it could take place in advance of Thanksgiving. But this year, there was no choice. That the organization meeting had to be held that Tuesday before Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that explanation. Any further comment? All right, so then do I hear a motion to approve D68? Second. All in favor? All right. All right. Just in case, I'd like to hear a motion to approve all the D items. Move it. All in favor? Aye. I need a motion now to move the E's to the floor. Is there a motion? Thank you. And a second? Second. All in favor say aye. The E items are on the floor, and we begin with E1. Ms. Rojas.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. On page 3 of the report, in the section for food service, they're showing a projected annual amount of $3,698. Give you a moment. Do you project that we may be in the red, or is that a surplus? I know it's hard sometimes to project.
Through the chair, we expect to end the year in the food service fund with an amount of $30.28 million. So we ended last year with 27 million. We expect right now to pick up an additional 3 million for a total of 30. I definitely do not expect to end anywhere near red.
Thank you very much. That's very good news. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ms. Marte. All right, do I hear a motion to approve?
Madam Vice Chair?
Yes, sir.
Just very quickly, somewhat germane to the question, but beyond that, I appreciate the question being asked. That used to be a very sore subject with this board. Since 2008, the food service program has been operating in the black and actually has become a profitable organization. But because I anticipate, we've had a number of conversations about the upcoming legislative session, our concerns about the limited level of resources that the state may be considering allocating to pre-K-12 education. And I think that's going to put us in a position of probably beginning state budget discussions and their impact on our school system and the types of considerations that I know reside as priorities with each one of you. So this is something that we have heard, and we're going to be moving in the direction in the next few months, intensifying actually going into February, because it is then that we do a significant budget resolution, mid-year adjustment, but expect on the basis of some of the commentary we've heard, us to schedule a number of engagements, personal engagements with you board members as a whole in committee, and maybe even earlier workshops on budget topics to address the budget realities coming in, so the inputs, but also some of the anticipated outputs from you, the board, through staff, as we begin to formulate the budget for the 17-18 school year. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ms. Rojas, you're satisfied? Okay. A further comment on E1? All right. We move to E51, authorization to approve the pre-qualification of contractors for educational facilities construction. First, we have Dr. Gallen.
Yes, through the chair. This item reflects 7 contractors that have been pre-qualified and 1 African-American, which reflects 14%. I also made note that the sole African-American is qualified for the least amount. Is this a bonding issue?
Through the chair, if I may, I'd like to ask Ms. Van Gates to answer that question.
Ms. Van Gates?
Good evening, Mr. Chair, Madam Vice Chair, members of the board, Mr. Superintendent, Mr. Harvey. Dr. Gallen, absolutely, it's regarding their bonding capacity. But what we're doing through OEO, this is officially my 10th day on the job. We are assessing and realigning all of our programs, and we're recalibrating our vision for OEO. We're very excited about it. The superintendent has given us great latitude, and my boss, right here, has given us great support in moving forward. So if you would like to spend some time in OEO, we welcome it.
Thank you. Through the chair, I'll be very interested in what we're doing in terms of strategies to enhance the bonding capacity of minority vendors.
Absolutely. We'll make it a priority.
Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Bendras Mendigo? Ms. Rojas?
I have no questions, Madam Chair, but I do want to wish Ms. Van Gates a very happy birthday. Spending it with us this evening. Thank you.
I would be nowhere else. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Happy birthday, Ms. Van Gates. Next, we have E142, Dr. Gallen, award invitation to bid recycling collection service.
Yes, through the chair. Were there any African Americans available for this particular project?
Through the chair, I'd like to ask Ms. Thowell to answer that, please.
Good evening. Through the chair, yes, sir. We sent out in the item in the first paragraph, you see that we included there were 3 certified MBE vendors. 2 of these firms happened to be African American, and they did not respond.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Just in case, because next we have E-145, which is award invitation to bid refrigeration maintenance, repair, replacement, refit, supply, and/or install. And we have Dr. Gallant.
Again, through the chair, the refrigeration contract does reflect a minority, which seems to be 16%. I heard a number above that at audit committee in terms of our increase somewhere in the 60, 70% for some of these contracts. Maybe I'll get some clarification. But I'm interested in looking at the process by which OEO is going to begin to address the marketing, the qualifications, the business engagement, contracts, and subsequent payment. To speak very candidly, I know that the OEO has been in existence for about 4 years now. There has been some transition, but I would anticipate that the mission of the office has remained the same, that if a mission is established, the office is in place, that the transition of staff should have minimal impact on the ultimate outcomes. So with respect to that, I want to just shed some light, have some light shed on what can we anticipate in terms of outcomes to address the ultimate goal, and that's to get people contracts and subsequently paid.
And through the chair, once again, I'd like Ms. Van Gates to answer that question.
Good evening yet again. Thank you, Dr. Gallen, for your interest in OEO. To answer your question directly, first to the communications plan, the superintendent has directed our office, along with public information, to create a community, not an outreach plan, but a community engagement plan. There is a difference between outreach and engagement. We're going for engagement because we're trying to build relationships, and we're also trying to build capacity for the businesses that engage with Miami-Dade County Public Schools. The vision for OEO has changed, but the mission is the same. Actually, our staff came up with a vision statement last week, and it is amazing. I should have wrote it down and had it tonight, but since it's my birthday, I didn't bring it. But I can tell you some of the things that OEO is focusing on right now is phase 2 of the disparity study, reviewing and revising our goal-setting process and policies, compliance and enforcement, which is key for us. We already talked about communication, community outreach. We're going to look at our certification program to make sure that small minority businesses can engage with the district this large. It can be intimidating, but we're not going to make it so. Also, our pre-qualification process, we're going to finish the implementation of the B2G project. Right now, we have 3 modules completed with 4 to go. And the last thing we're going to do is make sure that the community know that we are available, we are here, we're going to be in the community. We're not going to be in our offices a whole lot. We're going to make it easy for them, and we're going to work with procurement to look at fast-tracking contracts. For a small business, the most important thing is payment. So we're going to look at prompt payment, which we already have in place, but we really need to look at it again because businesses cannot exist without prompt payment. And also joint partnerships and sheltered markets. We're going to look at every area that we can give these businesses an opportunity. Am I right? You concur?
You are absolutely right. As a point through the chair, the Office of OEO and Procurement has a joint meeting scheduled for December 21st at 10 o'clock as one of their initial engagements.
Thank you. Through the chair, I appreciate that, Ms. Van Gates. It appears to be a pivot to different strategies and activities and processes and things that are involved in that space. However, I would be interested in specific metrics, and are there any? Are there going to be some formulated, and when can the board anticipate having an opportunity to review those metrics, the outcome metrics relative to the overall mission and goal of OEO?
Through the chair, if I may, I will actually take that. I think those are very opportune questions. There's a and I think it's important to understand one thing. Specific to construction contracts, capital projects, engineering, architecture contracts, and the actual contracting of GCs and the subs under them, that's already legally protected. And again, I would ask the attorney to follow me closely so I don't overspeak or underspeak on this matter. But they are legally protected right now because the board has adopted policy, because this board had the vision, the courage to launch and complete the disparity study that provided the legal coverage for the existence of the policy. You will see for the immediate future contracts still coming under the overall procurement and maintenance that fall outside of what's legally protected right now. So we are, and the results are night and day. So the commissioning of construction companies, architects and engineers, you see often double-digit minority participation, and specifically African-American participation, because of the goal-setting process that is legally protected under that policy. That is exactly what we envision once the Disparity Study Part 2 is released and the board then takes action on similar policy to bring that same methodology and oversight, much like we have currently under the capital project. It is not lost to us. This is work that probably should have been done 20 years ago in the school system. It is one that we started in earnest in 2012. We're now under phase 2, which is expected to conclude soon. But Board Member Gallen, this has been part of my mission and my declaration to the community. I think we've moved mountains on the capital side. The overall procurement is lagging because we rushed the disparity study phase 1 because we knew that there was a $1.2 billion of available money ready to spend, that we wanted to empower the community with equitable access to that trough. This is now very much part of the priority. So to your point, which was your initial question, and you're absolutely right. Change of leadership, but the mission is the same. The framework is the same. I like what Ms. Van Gates said. This is not as much about outreach as about engagement. So there's a difference between sending out a blast of invitations to bid versus being more strategic and grooming the potential partners of the school system on the basis of us knowing who they are. We spent quite a bit of time accumulating the database of who people were, people who decades ago gave up on trying to do business with the school system. We have regained, to a certain extent, the trust, the database. Now is a matter of next phase of work, having the policy on one side, but secondly, being much more, not just proactive, but deliberate in terms of strategically capturing the entities in our community that are ready, willing, and able, and have the appropriate bonding capacity to actually do the work. Speaking of bonding capacity, last point, this board also has taken visionary leadership in actually eliminating some of the roadblocks and actually creating liability onto itself for small companies that, because of bonding capacity limitations, would not be able to do business with the system. We always have an opportunity to revisit those points and expand it further, but it's work in progress. The biggest enabler of this will be the disparity study phase 2, much anticipated, but I certainly appreciated the question.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any further question on E144? Dr. Gallen, did you have a comment on the award invitation solid waste collection services? Sir?
That question through the chair was consistent with the prior questions. Were there any African-American firms considered? Are there any available with respect to that contract, which is a potential of close to $20 million?
Through the chair, Through the chair, yes, sir. These were very similar firms as with the recycling. So we did have 2 African-American firms that were included here, 1 Hispanic, and again, those firms did not respond to the solicitation.
Through the chair, I'm asking these questions for a specific purpose. Obviously, people who know me know that. And I think it's incumbent upon the community and those who are seeking to do business with the school district, they also have to put their shoulder to the wheel of exploring these opportunities. I concur with the superintendent. I commend this board as one who was not on the board for taking the bold step to address this. But as we have opportunities provided, this may be a platform for commercials. You're talking about you have a waste management company, you didn't apply. You're talking about a refrigeration opportunity, you did not apply. So I'm asking these questions as a semi-commercial for those who may 6 months, 12 months, 18 months from now raise the issue that they have not been provided an opportunity, but we want to reiterate the fact that, as Superintendent says, we are open for business. He often uses that phrase. We're open for business, but the people who want to participate have to put their shoulder to the wheel, absent the roadblocks, absent some of the impediments that I think we're working through, but I want to reiterate that these are opportunities. This is $20 million, and we're now seeing that not one African-American firm applied. And I think we, as a community, also have to bear some responsibility for the opportunities that we don't take. You won't make the baskets that you don't shoot. So I just want to send that out to our constituents, which are all of our constituents, because as we continue to move down this road, everyone has to play their part. So thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Thank you. I'm glad you said that, because for a second I thought we were heading in a different direction. I wasn't sure if we had made you, being a new member here, aware of what this board had done in terms of going up to 70% of minority and small business enterprise in construction, and I wasn't sure whether you had been given the charts. And there has been a lot of work by staff and us to have training sessions, to have open sessions of all different parts up and down the county, whether it be sometimes it was in Dottie, if I may say Dottie's area, and sometimes mine, and all of ours. And, you know, we had, for construction, we have a lot of people. But you're right, they're the other side of the coin, you know, and we'll get there. But there is a very large success piece of what we've been able to do in terms of also, and maybe Mr. Torrance will correct me, of saying that, you know what, we take away the bond. We'll absorb the bond ourselves if it's below a certain amount, and we'll pay it ourselves. So I'm glad you went that way, because this is a joint ownership, and all stakeholders have to feel engaged and have opportunities. And you know, we've come to one part, and now I'm very proud of you for saying, you know what, help us out, people. You know, come up, answer the bids. But I'm very proud of what they've been able to do in the past. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Feldman.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Gallen. And now we move to E201. Dr. Gallen.
Through the chair, on E201, it appears that there were consultants selected, Strange and the College of William and Mary, for a total allocation of $435,000. Is there some clarity that can be provided on the actual scope and who will be the participants in this particular training?
Yes, through the chair. So the Strong and Associates, we've been working with Dr. Strong now since the initiation of our evaluation system. So the scope of the work that targets this particular grant is to amplify and extend the capacity of our school principals to provide feedback regarding evaluation. We're trying to move from this rating of teachers to the concept of how we help them grow and look at instructional practice throughout a common lens of instruction. So the scope of the work is to build the capacity of our principals, sustainable across the board. In addition, it allows us to fine-tune some of the tools that we use when we go in classrooms to look and observe observation. So this is something that we do as we train all principals and all assistant principals so that we are very consistent with what we're doing. And that is part of the scope of the work. It also includes linking with the process of doing instructional walkthroughs, right? What does that entail? We've been doing this very systemically for about 2 years. So every year we identify a different group of principals or assistant principals, and we walk through the process with them. We get assistance and guidance and support from the experts in the field of teacher effectiveness, and Dr. James Strong is a very well-credentialed individual in this area.
Through the chair, thank you, Mr. Dolters. I appreciate that response, and I do concur that Dr. Strong is one of the best and brightest in the nation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Dr. Bedros Minigal, E201. All right, thank you. Therefore, we need to vote on the E's, but we need to take E51 separately because I believe that that's the one where Ms. Rojas is going to abstain. So do I hear a motion to approve E51?
Move it.
Second. All in favor say aye. Opposed? All right. E51 passes. Now I need a motion to approve the rest of the E's.
Second.
There was a motion and a second. Do I hear all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right. It passes. And now we have the school board foundation meeting, and I pass the gavel back to our very competent chair, Dr. Feldman. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Vice Chair. Outstanding job, as expected and delivered. Ladies and gentlemen on the board, we have received the discs that contain all of the information on the foundation. And so the following set of questions refer to those, and basically they will, once I'll read them, and then you can make a decision as to whether or not, since you've read all of the material, whether or not you agree. So the first one, this is the meeting of the School Board Foundation, Inc. of December 14th, 2016. I need a motion to temporarily recess the regular session of the board meeting in order to convene a meeting of the Board of Directors of the Miami-Dade County School Board Foundation. Do I have a motion? Thank you. Do I have a second? Okay, thank you. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Number two, I call the meeting of Miami-Dade County School Board Foundation meeting to order. The board acknowledges that pursuant to Article 2, Section 9 of the bylaws of the foundation, the chairperson of the school board shall serve as the chairperson of the board of directors of the foundation, and the vice chairperson of the school board shall serve as the vice chairperson of the board of directors of the foundation. Having said that, I need a motion to elect the superintendent of schools as president and secretary of the foundation, which follows all of our policies. Is there a motion? A second? All those in favor say aye. I have it. I need a motion to elect the chief financial officer of financial services as the vice president and treasurer of the foundation. Need a motion to elect the treasurer. Thank you. A motion accepted. Anyone second that?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. I need a motion to elect the treasurer, financial services, as assistant secretary of the foundation. Is there a motion and a second? I have a motion.
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. I need a motion to accept the annual budget and audited financial statement relating to the foundation. There was an audit of this, and it was presented to the audit committee, and it passed with flying colors, with no audit exceptions and no material issues. So is there a motion to accept that? Thank you very much. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? I need a motion to consider resolution number 16-110, authorizing the direct payment of up to $50,700,000 aggregated principal amount of the Series 2008C COPS in an index floating rate period of 5 years with the Bank of America, N.A., or an affiliate of the Bank of America Corporation. Do I have a motion and a second for that? Have a motion and a second. Thank you. All in favor say aye. Aye. There being no further business to discuss, I need a motion to adjourn the meeting of the Miami-Dade County School Board Foundation, Inc. Thank you. Thank you. All in favor say aye. Aye. I need a motion to reconvene the regular session of the board meeting. Thank you. And a second? Second. Thank you. All in favor say aye. Thank you. Will someone please move the F items to the floor? Is there a second? Thank you. All in favor say aye. Aye. The F items are now on the floor, and our wonderful Vice Chair will take us through the F items. That was probably the fastest thing we've done all day.
Thank you so much. Right, we begin with F. We need a motion to move the Fs to the floor, correct? We have it. All right, F26, Dr. Bendras Minigo.
Madam Vice Chair, I think I have 26, 27, and
Yes, ma'am.
29.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. F26, yes. I want to commend our team for surpassing the 20% SB, pardon me, ME goal to 39%. The sub-consultants, this is for our listening audience and viewing audience. Sub-consultants are Hispanic American and African American. That's F26, Madam Vice Chair.
Right. And are you speaking to all three, F26, 27, and 29?
I will if that's okay.
Yes,
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. I want to commend our team for surpassing the 10% pre-construction SBME goal to 16%. The audience needs to know the sub-consultants are Hispanic American and African American. Excuse me. And F29, I'm combining F28 and F29, Madam Vice Chair, if that's okay.
Yes, ma'am.
For F29, what are the district's plans for the possible sale or lease of the property? I'm speaking about Dash.
Yes, through the chair. That's currently under the cone of silence. There's a solicitation out right now that has not been brought back to the board. So.
Okay. Thank you, Sister Sun. The cone of silence. I want to ask the second question. I believe that's it for now, Madam Vice Chair.
Thank you very much. Any further comment on the Fs? No. I need a motion to approve the Fs.
So moved.
Second? Second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the Gs passed on consent, so I need a motion to move the Gs. I guess that we don't need them. It's done. All right, thank you very much. Yes, sir, I think you're H4.
I think we did H4.
Did?
Did we not? Yes.
Yes, okay. H5, so we did. 6.
Through the chair.
13.
Through the chair, H7 should be your next item on the floor.
H7. All right. Ms. Hatman.
Madam Vice Chair, I'm very pleased to bring this item once again before the board. In the interest of time, I think the item is self-explanatory. The event is held in conjunction with the National Association of College Admission Counseling, and this is the 2017 College Fair. And this year will be held at the DoubleTree Miami Mart Airport Hotel and Convention Center on Sunday, February 26th, from 12 p.m. noon to 4 p.m., and there's no cost to this event. I'm certainly looking forward to a very successful college fair this year.
Any comment?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Madam Chair, Madam Vice Chair. Just want to compliment Ms. Hammond. This is an amazing program that she has initiated and supported throughout the years. If you have not had a chance to visit during during this, please go. We have students coming from all over the county, from grades 6 on all up, and there are great programs. There are great teaching lessons. There are parent sessions. There are opportunity for our students to go online right there and do registration, get help with scholarships. It is a phenomenal program, so thank you very much for ensuring that this continues.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, thank you.
Next item is Ms. Hatman's H11.
Thank you very much. H11 is the endorsement of additional schools for the safe routes. And I am happy again to bring forth this item to the board. What this item does is seeks endorsement for 10 additional schools for the Safe Routes to School program, which were identified in partnership with the Miami-Dade Metropolitan Planning Organization, or MPO, in partnership with the district and the Public Schools Community Traffic Safety Team. This program, as I have talked about at committee, provides federal dollar to make it safer for students to walk and to bicycle to school. Thank you, board members. Thank you very much. And I did send all the board members the request. I'm sure you receive it, that Ms. Castillo had asked at committee regarding the list of schools under the safe routes. And as you can see, this is something that it includes, safe routes are decided on different parts of the county, and it certainly, we have received over $21 million in the several of the last few years, so it's a good thing for our schools. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Next, we have H12, Dr. Feldman.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. On H12, which passed anyway, I feel more comfortable just bringing it for an actual voice vote. This is specifically for placing one of our members, and that is Dr. Perez, from the Vice Chair to the VAB Committee. She will be replacing Mrs. Regalado, who left, and our alternate would be Ms. Luby Navarro. And so as part of the policy, it does say appoint in part of it, and then it says follow up with the election. One can presume that when we agree that that serves as an election, but I feel much more comfortable if we had an actual motion and a voice count. So I would love to have a motion to accept.
I move, sir.
We have a motion, we have a second, if you don't mind me doing this. No, all in favor say aye. No opposed? It passes unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, I want to commend you again, I did a committee, for bringing it to the board, because this is the way it should be. It's your appointment, but it has to be certainly voted by the board. And it didn't happen always like that in years ago, and it's certainly something very good that you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and if I may take the moment to thank you very much for the appointment, and I must say that I hope I can do as good a job as my predecessors, which include Ms. Regalado, Ms. Dorothy Bendras-Mindigo, Dr. Dorothy Bendras-Mindigo, and Mr. Carlos Curbelo, who have done an amazing job collectively, they did an amazing job for the district, and I hope I can carry the torch. Thank you very much. Thank you. And now we have H13, Ms. Rojas.
This is a fairly simple agenda item dealing with records management and retention for school board members' offices. As many of us are aware, the records management is under Florida statute and school board policy. It is a very important aspect of administration, scheduling, disposition of public records in the school district. School sites and district offices are extremely aware of this requirement, and they follow the rules as outlined in board policy. As a new member, however, of the board, I think it is important, not only for me, but also for my colleagues, to be fully aware of what is included in state statute and board policy, and that we have the proper training, guidance, and support in order to implement both the administration, scheduling, and disposition of public records in the school district. More information and the more knowledge that we have, the better prepared we will be. Furthermore, it will ensure transparency, consistency in practice, and compliance with statutes and board policy. Thank you, Madam Vice Chair.
Thank you very much, Ms. Rojas. Are there any comments? Seeing none, I'd like a motion to approve all the H's. Second. All in favor? Aye. Aye. All right, thank you very much. And now I turn the meeting back to our very competent Chair, Dr. Feldman, please.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Board Member Vice Chair Perez. So we have two things left. I'm going to take the, I guess, a personal privilege here while someone is thinking about the B items. If my team could, you know, we started off, it's very long, I know. This whole meeting has been long, but this whole meeting has been about kids, academics, and everything else. We started with reading a lot about how our children are doing well, and how we need to be very cognizant of everybody. This is the last time we meet publicly before a holiday. It is a very special holiday. It's a holiday of renewal, it's a holiday of energy, it's a holiday of family. And yes, everybody gets a part in the front row and also in front of me. And you know what, guys? And so, with that, what I would be very happy about, being a former teacher and a former principal, like my 5 other compatriots here, we're going to start with Carl at the end. And everybody has a sheet, and if you'll engage me, I will go home so happy. The name is on there and a number. If someone is not sitting by you, pick up their paper and make sure you follow it after your number. So, Jim, since there's nobody next to you, you'll take that next one and do yours first and then that person. And that includes both of you, Pat and also Desiree. And then we'll come over here to the attorney. And Mr. Superintendent, you'll wrap it up as you always do in a beautiful package with a bow and everything very nice. You do not have to sing if you do not want to, but be in constant timing if we could do that. So, Carl, start us off. And everybody got to push your button. We're reading to our students out now.
Through the chair.
Yes. Oh, forget that part. That'll take too long. That's good.
You know Dasher and Dancer.
And Prancer and Vixen.
Comet and Cupid.
And Donner and Blitzen.
But do you recall the most famous reindeer of all?
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer.
Has a very shiny nose.
And if you ever saw it,
You would even say it blows.
All of the other reindeers.
Used to laugh and call him names.
They never let poor Rudolph
join in any reindeer games.
Then one foggy holiday night.
Santa came to say, Rudolph, with your nose so bright.
Won't you guide my sleigh tonight?
Wait. Do it with that deep voice. Come on, do it with that deep voice.
Won't you guide my sleigh tonight?
Oh.
Then all the reindeers loved him as they shouted out with glee.
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down in history.
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer has a very shiny nose.
And if you ever saw it, you would even say it glows. And all of the other reindeers
Used to laugh and call him names. They never let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer games.
Then one foggy holiday night, Santa came to say, Rudolph, with your nose so bright.
Won't you guide my sleigh tonight?
That's it. We're happy, right? Thank you all for, good job, guys. All right, so we have B, and it's not part of the red-nosed reindeer. We have B's. We all ready to do B's or ready to do B's? We're going to be 2 B's. Okay, so my little list, if you can give it to me so I'll know who's on our B list. Okay, I will do. Okay, we'll start over here. Dr. Bendros Mendigal, former principal and legislator, do you have any bees? God.
I'm ready.
Ms. Navarro, if you could take us
Thank
through your
you.
bees.
I'd like to begin by saying this coming Saturday, District 7 will be having our second annual toy distribution event at Jorge Mascanosa Middle School. I'd like to thank three leaders in my community, State Senator Frank Artiles, Jeanette Nunez, and our newly elected commissioner in Kendall, Joe Martinez, who have all joined together, as well as the Greater Kendall Business Association and the Libre Initiative, to collect toys for our most neediest students in District 7. It's going to be a phenomenal event. If you could please join us this Saturday at 9:30 a.m. at Jorge Mascanosa Middle School. And just in closing, I'd like to wish everyone a happy holiday season and prosperous new year. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Dr. Bendros Mendigal? Oh, keep going. Dr. Karp?
All right, I'm going to try to edit this down, sir.
You can sing it.
I'll try. No. Congratulations to North Beach Elementary for winning first in the state for the Manga High Math Competition. It's an online math competition for K to 10 graders, and it's quite remarkable the number of students that participated. They were first in the state and 16th in the competition overall. Also, we'll acknowledge Daniela Murcia, sixth grader from Ruth K. Broad, Bay Harbor, participated in the new Nickelodeon program, Food Hunters. That's a cooking contest with 4 teams of 2 competing in each episode. There was more than 1,000 kids who auditioned. Reynolds Park was identified by the state as having been one of the schools that demonstrated top 10% of gains in multiple areas. Congratulations. We'll acknowledge at Aventura Waterways the music teacher and Miss Joan and student Sophia Toledo, and also students Natalia Salias-Leta, and also for all their work in getting into the 2017 Elementary All-State Chorus. Congratulations to Maya Levy over at Dr. Michael Kropp Senior High for receiving a letter from the College Board. She was only one of 38 students in the country achieving a perfect score on her AP research paper. Let's also mention the, go to the last couple here. Mast at FIU, want to congratulate Bodan Ivaneko, an 11th grade student at Mast at FIU. Bodan was chosen among over 2,000 student participants in the 2016 Congressional App Challenge as the winner of the Florida's 23rd Congressional District for the submission Go Green. That's an app designed to help individuals calculate their home's energy efficiency. And finally, I'd like to say congratulations to Ms. Luz Torres, Office Employee of the Year, Registrar at Highland Oaks Middle for the North Region, and Mr. Gaden Charles, Paris Support Employee of the Year, Community Involvement Specialist at Fulford Elementary. Good luck to you as you go on to the district level. Thank you, Dr. Feldman.
You're very welcome, sir. Thank you, Dr. Karp. Ms. Hammond?
No, thank you,
Okay.
sir.
Thank you. Vice Chair?
Yes, sir, very briefly. First, I'd like to report that my colleague, Dr. Bendros Mendigal, Dr. Feldman, we attended the Florida School Boards Association's joint conference in Tampa with the beautiful Ms. Mendez-Cartaya from the superintendent's cabinet. And during the conference, there was also a meeting of the Greater Florida Consortium of School Boards. And very interesting meetings and issues that we will be facing. One of the things I think that our colleagues throughout the state are concerned about are how the new administration when we have a new administration, when the new president is sworn in, will affect education and also lobbying clarification. So it was a very interesting meeting. And secondly, I extend a special invitation to all students to enjoy a wonderful evening of fun and activities. This year, the 18th annual book giveaway conducted by my office, which will be on Wednesday, December 21st at Miami Coral Park Senior High from 5 to 7. Students choose a free book, savor tasty snacks, enjoy musical entertainment, and participate in the best raffle ever with great prizes. And this year's grand prize is a laptop computer. So I encourage families to bring their families and celebrate the season with us. And we hope to see you there and to wish all of you all of this season's blessings, very happy holidays. Thank you, all of the staff, for working so hard and being so wonderful, to the superintendent for making us look so good, and for explaining things when they come up, difficulties that the district may have. And to my colleagues, thank you very much, and all our employees, and God bless. Thank you.
Oh, that's nice, thank you. Board Member Castillo?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm sorry I missed the sing-along.
But
I wanted to thank...
Here.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I wanted to thank Ms. Rojas, actually, for filling in for me, so thank you. Before I begin, I would like to ask for everyone to please keep in mind the Zaldúa family in your thoughts and prayers. Michael Zaldúa was a student of Florida International University and a alumni of graduate of Ronald Reagan Doral Senior High School. He recently lost his life due to gun violence. Michael's mother is Ellie Savina, who is a language arts teacher at Ronald Reagan Doral Senior High School. And his father, Michael Zaldúa, is a teacher at Coconut Grove Palm K-8 Center. And his stepmother, Lynn Marie Zaldúa, is a principal at Pinecrest Elementary. So I ask if you please keep them all in your prayers during this very difficult time. I want to begin my announcements this month by congratulating Miami Springs Senior High art teacher, Ms. Beth Goldstein. Ms. Goldstein was featured on the CW's Superheroes in Our Schools for extraordinary teaching skills, constant dedication to her art students that has earned her the prestigious Southeastern Region Secondary Art Educator Award. Thank you, Ms. Goldstein, for all your hard work. A big congratulations goes out to Charles R. Hadley Elementary School for being named Miami-Dade County Public Schools' top fundraiser for Autism Speaks, raising over $7,000 this past Autism Speaks walk. I would like to thank Ms. Lourdes de Dios for her outstanding performance as team captain throughout the years, as well as Principal Ms. Maria Menchero and the entire faculty and staff at Charles Hadley for their commitment to such a wonderful cause. Reminder, please make sure to save the date for this year's Autism Speaks Walk, which is scheduled for April 2nd, 2017 at Doral Central Park. I am very proud to announce that Principal Jeanette Acevedo Eisenberg of Downtown Doral Charter Elementary School was awarded the Council of Educational Change's 2016 Leonard Miller Principal Leadership Award last month, making her the first principal of a charter school to ever receive this notable award. Under Ms. Acevedo Eisenberg's leadership, Downtown Doral Charter received an A rating in its first year and had the highest math scores in the district. Congratulations, Ms. Acevedo Eisenberg. She's doing a wonderful job. I also would like to congratulate the students of George T. Baker Aviation Technical College, who won $1,100 at the first annual Metal Bashers Aero Skills Tournament, where students were tasked with laying out, cutting, fabricating, and disassembling sheet metal structures. They will now have the opportunity to compete regionally. Good luck to all of you. I would like to extend an enormous congratulations to Mr. Eduardo Padron, President of Miami-Dade College, for being recognized by President Barack Obama as one of the 21 recipients of the President's Medal of Freedom, the nation's highest civilian honor. Congratulations, Mr. Padron. The honor is very well deserved. I would also like to congratulate Ruben Darío Middle School student Cassandra Suarez for winning first place in the state at the Lions Club Celebration of Peace contest. Cassandra has earned over $1,200 in cash and prizes for her art in this school year alone. I hope you continue to excel in the art world, Cassandra, and congratulations on all your success. Finally, I would like to congratulate Ronald Reagan Durrell Senior High School students Juan Cruz Jamero, Nicholas Schnoor, and Carolina Aguilar for placing second in Congressman Mario Diaz-Balar's Congressional App Challenge with their app, Homework Tracker. The app was designed and created entirely by the students. It helps students schedule a time to do homework and also reminders for when their homework is due. The impressive app is available through Google Play on all Android phones. Congratulations to all of you and a very well-deserved recognition. And I would also like to thank Congressman Mario Diaz-Balart and his staff for putting together this amazing challenge, which has inspired so many students. And before I close out, I do want to congratulate our new mayor of the city of Doral, Juan Carlos Bermudez, and our new councilwoman, Claudia Mariaca, who will be sworn in next Tuesday. So that concludes my announcements. I would like to wish all of our employees, our staff, our administrators, teachers, and all of our parents and students a very happy holidays, and enjoy the new year, enjoy the time with your families. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you very much, Board Member Castillo. Board Member Rojas?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I want to start off my announcements this month by thanking the residents of District 6 for their support and confidence vested in me to represent you on this board. I look forward to working diligently toward improving our schools and the quality of education for our students. Congratulations to Central Region's Principal of the Year, Marta Chang from Ponce de Leon Middle School. Proud to have you in District 6. Congratulations as well to another District 6 educator and Central Region's Rookie Teacher of the Year, Ms. Davalin Suarez from Miami Senior High School. And last but not least, congratulations to Mr. Rudy Diaz from South Miami Senior High, Central Region's Teacher of the Year. This month, I would like to commend the Central Region office staff and schools on an excellent Central Region Curriculum Expo, which was held at Miami Senior High School. I had a great time at the event and had an opportunity to meet many of our parents and school administrators. Again, great job and congratulations. I also would like to commend the South Miami Senior Cobra Marching Band under the direction of Ms. Jennifer Jimenez. They participated in Bandmasters Marching Band Competition in Tampa, Florida on November 12, 2016, and finished in the top 5 in the overall ranking of the state's competition. Congratulations this month as well to Adismay Abreu and Marianne Cabrera, 3rd grade students from Arbondale Elementary School, for having achieved a perfect score on the mathematics test and reading test of the Florida Standard Assessment. I want to thank the Miami Heat for their support of our schools through their Heat Academy program. They recently held a holiday distribution event at Riverside Elementary, which I had the pleasure of attending, and it was truly a great success. I especially want to thank Mr. Larry Shear, a 29-year Heat season ticket holder and supporter of the Heat Academy program, for his sponsorship of this event. We could not do it without you, and the smiles on the faces of all those children that received those gifts from you will not be forgotten. From Silver Bluff Elementary, I want to congratulate Sienna Gettinger, 4th grade student, for being the winner of the school science fair. Keep up the great work, Sienna. We are so happy to have you with us. Congratulations to Riviera Middle School on being awarded the Bronze STEM Designation Award in 2016. The STEM Designation Award is given to schools that emphasize the integration of technology, the scientific process, and mathematics. At Riviera Middle School, 4 students received excellent and honorable mention ratings for the quality of their projects. Lastly, I want to wish everyone a blessed and joyful holiday season. A very, very, very Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, and a Happy Kwanzaa. May you spend this very special time of the year with your family, friends, and all your loved ones. Thank you so much for allowing me to be part of this wonderful board and of this wonderful team, because together we can make it happen. So good night, God bless, and have a wonderful holiday.
Thank you very much, Board Member Rojas. Board Member Bendros Mendigal.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I bring greetings to all of our listeners and, of course, our viewing audience from the school board, but more specifically, District 2. I am Dr. Dorothy Bendros Mendengal, your school board member. On December 5th, I was excited to visit Island TV's show, Law, Politics, and Society, and speak about saving our babies. This was our Haiti relief effort from November 1st to the 30th. The community joined in, and I know we made some children in Haiti very happy. I want you all to know that it is ongoing. So if you feel that you want to do something really great for the holiday, please continue to contact the office. On December 5th, I brought greetings to the Liberty City area. I pay tribute to the late Henry Goa, and many of us know him. We lit a Christmas tree in his honor at Hadley Park. We had the honor of having Chairman Keon Hardeman, District 5. He hosted this wonderful and joyous event. On December 6th, I met with some of the brightest students in Dade County schools at ITech. The school is located, as you very well know, in Little Haiti. I wanted to bring them down here to work with us. They are extremely ready for the world. While I was there, they produced a brand new website for District 2. How lucky can you be to be students from District 2? 4 schools were invited to attend FIU's holiday celebration. Mr. Cedric McMinn, my chief of staff, served as the executive elf. I want you all to know that those schools were Charles R. Drew K-8 Center, Frederick Douglass Elementary, Jesse J. McCrary, and Liberty City Elementary School. They were there enjoying themselves. They received toys, bikes, and even laptops. On December 9, I was thrilled to attend a great presentation on how to code at Henry W. Mack, West Little River K-8 Center. On December 12th, again with our very special Keon Hardeman, chairman of the City of Miami Commission, he presented the key of the city to Coach Carmen Jackson. Coach Carmen Jackson represented us at the Olympics. She did not run the race, but one of our former students did. I also want you to know that Booker T. Washington is celebrating its 90th birthday. It was the first school in Florida to open for African American children in 1926. So as we approach the holidays, I again want our community to come together to stop the violence. Our children are dying too soon. Too many lives are being lost due to senseless gun violence. And this year we had to bury too many children. And on tomorrow, we've been doing this for about 6 months. We stand on the corner of 95th Street, 17th Avenue, with a lot of wonderful people and our police departments. We're trying to get justice for Jada. We do this every Thursday at 6 p.m. So if you are listening and watching and you want to join us again, it's on 95th Street and 17th Avenue. I want us to stand together so that we can stop the violence. So in closing, I want to wish everyone a safe, wonderful Christmas holiday, a happy Hanukkah, a happy Kwanzaa, and Joya Noel. See you on the journey. God bless.
Thank you very much, Board Member Bendros Mendigal. Okay, well, let me start with this way. First of all, thank you to Jackie, Corey, Addis, and Maura for doing all that you do to make my office, our office, successful. Thank you for putting together a wonderful town hall that we had last week. It is very much appreciated. Those of you who know Delio Diaz, he's making a great recovery and leader of the DASA group. So keep him in your thoughts and prayers. For those of you sitting in front of me, there is no finer group of cabinet members or staff members or leaders of your individual parts, groups, departments. You all have proven your worth and your mettle over the years. We have come so far as a school district. I really hope you appreciate our appreciation of you. It is not easy to be on either side of this particular dais, but we all work together for only one reason, and that is our children, and we do it with a sense of dignity, we do it with a sense of compassion, and we do it with a sense of integrity. Each one of you clearly portray the type of person that I would want in my organization, and I think the rest of our board members feel the same way. You have made a tremendous contribution, and don't ever doubt that you do make a positive difference every day to everyone. With that, I want to just say thank you also to Sophia Ami, and she is a senior at Coral Reef Senior High School. She was one of 15,000 students. She was one. There were 15,000 applicants, and she won one of the Questbridge College Match awards. Congratulations. Congratulations to Coach Bobby Vernon from Palmetto Senior. Coach Vernon took on by himself the whole idea of concussions. You know, this board has been a leader in concussion therapy and concussion management, concussion awareness, and also all different forms of mediation from concussions. He has found a way through his training that this past season, not one of his defensive players sustained a concussion. That is remarkable when you consider the type of hits that they all get. So thank you, Coach Vernon. We had a wonderful giveaway of toys to our students who live in the 5 labor camps down in Homestead. It was with the Hispanic Police Officers Association last night. I want to thank Ms. Rosen at Vineland. Her third graders alone donated 600 new gifts to the students, and it's a tremendous feeling to be able to do that and know that you were blessed. I want to thank the superintendent. Through his work, the Cambridge examinations in this district has taken a tremendous increase. We have outscored ourselves over the last 2 years, as well as the rest of the country. Congratulations to all of you for doing that. I want to thank my vice chair for always coming through and giving me a break every once in a while. I want to thank you, Madam Former Chair. This is not easy, and we always try our best to make sure that everybody gets through. And to you, board members and colleagues, and to you, Superintendent Carvalho, could not ask to spend a better 8 years of my life with anyone else than the 10 of you, and also Mr. Attorney. You have really given a lot every day, all day, and those of you coming up now knew you're putting in yours. This is the place that makes a difference for children. We see it every day. We know it every day. Forget everything else other than the fact that every day, because of you and us together, children go home feeling good about themselves. They go home feeling that they're a hero to somebody. And because of you all, there's going to be a great deal of celebration this holiday for children who did not have enough, but now they have something. And I want to thank you. So borrowing from you, Madam Vice Chair, may the Lord keep each of you in the palm of his hand and grant you a wonderful season of peace and love. With that, we go to the superintendent. You're so lucky I didn't go bang first. Mr. Superintendent,
Thank you very
close
much,
it off.
Mr. Chair. Just very briefly, I want to wish the entire board a happy holiday season. I want to wish this cabinet, senior staff, the entire family of Miami-Dade County Public Schools a Merry Christmas, a happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa, or just a restful 2 weeks. And I want to wish our community, particularly our students, 2 fantastic weeks of rest and peace. Mr. Chair, members of the board, you said it. It has been, as we close out this calendar year, another year of success, but also another year of honest recognition of the challenges ahead. And my last thought is a silent prayer as we walk away from here today, because we can, recognizing that 4 years ago, the Sandy Hook massacre took place and 26 souls were lost. Let us all move away today with them in our minds and prayers, and with a prayer for the safekeeping of our children and those who dare to inspire them every single day, and that is all of you. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you. There being no further business in front of this board, we are adjourned. Thank you.
Miami moviegoers will see some local faces on the big screen in the movie Moonlight.
I ain't seen you in like a decade. It's not what I expected. What did you expect?
12-year-old Alex Hibbert and 13-year-old Jaden Pinner are students in Tanisha Siedel's theater class at Miami Norland Middle School. They got their big break earlier this year. Their teacher, who has a role in the film as well, is also their biggest fan.
We received a call from Barry and Adele, who are the producer and the director of the film, and they heard about Norland Middle School magnet program, and they wanted to come to see if they could audition the kids.
Moonlight tells the story of a black man named Chiron and his struggle growing up gay in Miami's Liberty City. Alex, just a 7th grader, played a young Chiron.
It was a good experience, and it's a movie that's never been told before, and I hope you guys like it.
His classmate and co-star, Jaden, plays a bully in the movie. He only has one issue with fame.
I don't really like watching myself because it made me feel weird for some reason. I don't like watching myself.
The magnet program at Norland Middle has been around since 1984. Their teacher talks about what the program means to her.
I myself was a student here, so coming back and giving back to the community and to the students here is exactly what I want to do.
Her level of caring helps her students advance not only as actors, but as people too.
Miss Idell, one of the things she always tells us is respect and manners will bring you a long way. And with respect and manners and like how to carry yourself bring me a long way, and I got this movie and I'm gonna do more.
Alex Diarmas, 7 News Night Team.
Greetings to the parents, students, faculty, staff, employees, and each and every stakeholder in the Miami-Dade County Public Schools. I am Dr. Steve Gallen III, your school board member for District 1. I am pleased to share a few highlights of the accomplishments and activities of our District 1 schools. On Monday, December 5th, I was humbled and honored to serve as guest speaker at the 5,000 Role Models of Excellence Project's tie-tying ceremony held at Golden Glades Elementary School in Miami Gardens. Several boys took the role model oath and made commitments to the ideals of the program. I would like to congratulate all young men who participated, and I wish you much success in your future academic endeavors. A special salute to Mr. Zay McCray, site coordinators, and the 5,000 Role Models team. Also, thank you to Principal Jason Allen for your introduction, your warm welcome, and your hospitality. On Thursday, December 8th, I was also pleased to support the North Dade Center for Modern Languages winter program. The reason for the season. Through song and dance, the student performances highlighted various holiday traditions around the world. The standing room only event was presented at New Hope Missionary Baptist Church. Congratulations goes out to Dr. Maria Castaigne, principal. Also a special thank you to Bishop Randall Holtz and the New Hope Missionary Baptist Church family. On Saturday, December 10th, I visited North Miami Senior High School, one of 3 senior high schools in District 1. I was proud to support Ms. Priscilla Dames, CEO and founder of Wingspan Seminars, for a male community symposium that sought to encourage and mentor our young men in the Men-to-Men Synergize Conference. The young men represent the greatness of our community and the strength of our future. We must continue to support and uplift these young men in their pursuit of their hopes, their dreams, their goals, and their aspirations. Some of the community leaders joining me at the conference included my friend, North Miami Vice Mayor Alex DeSume, Senator Dwight Bullard, Miami-Dade County Public Defender Carlos Martinez, and Attorney Stephen Johnson, who is also the president of the 100 Black Men of South Florida. I also addressed the audience at the International Baccalaureate Program recruitment meeting for parents that was being held at the same time at North Miami Senior High School. It was heartwarming, uplifting, and inspirational that despite the rain, many parents came out to explore and learn about future educational choice options for their children. Kudos to you parents and students for making education a priority. Also, thank you goes out to North Miami Senior High School Principal Darrell Branton and his entire staff. Congratulations to Principal Janarv Dunn, Coach Aubrey Hill, the coaching staff, the football team, and the entire Miami Carroll City Senior High School family on winning the Florida High School Athletic Association Class 6A football championships. Go Chiefs! The Chiefs defeated the Lakeland Lake Gibson Braves 14-6 before a crowd at Camping World Stadium in Orlando that also included legendary Carroll City football coach Walt Frazier. Additional kudos to Principal Dunn for being named the North Region Principal of the Year nominee. Once again, go Chiefs. Lastly, I want to congratulate all of the student participants in the Miami Gardens Science Fair. Special thanks to Councilman David Williams for his initiative. Kudos to Mayor Oliver Gilbert and Council members Harris, Odom, and Robinson for coming out in support of this great event. A special thanks and commendations to all of the principals, teachers, staff, and North Region administration for supporting this very successful event. Since this is the last school board meeting of 2016, I would like to wish you a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, a joyous Kwanzaa, and all of the best for a 2017 New Year. Thank you for all you do for the children in this community. Enjoy the winter break, stay safe and productive. Happy New Year once again. I will see you in 2017. Remember, we are one community, one school district, committed to all schools and all children. Thank you.
Good evening. I am Perla Tavares Hansman, member of the Miami-Dade County School Board representing District 4. It's good to visit with all the viewers once again and to share some news. I would like to congratulate Ms. Lisa De Yarza from Miami Lakes Middle School on being recognized as a super teacher by SFL-CW South Florida Channel 19 under Superheroes in Our Schools program. Ms. De Yarza teaches legal studies where she places an emphasis on public speaking and teamwork to help her students get ready for life after middle school. Congratulations, Ms. De Yarza. I'd like to take this opportunity to express my best wishes to all of you and your family during this holiday season. Have a restful, safe, and enjoyable holiday, and may the new year be filled with health, peace, and goodwill. Thank you for your interest in our Miami-Dade County School Board meeting. Thank you for allowing me into your homes once again. Until next time, have a good evening, stay well. May all good things be with you. God bless you. Buenas noches a todos los televidentes hispanos. Les habla Perla Tavares Hantman, miembro de la Junta Escolar del Condado de Miami-Dade, representando el Distrito 4. Quisiera compartir con ustedes una vez más notas de interés del sistema escolar. Me daría mucho gusto felicitar a la señora Lisa De Yarza de la Escuela Intermedia Miami Lakes Middle School, reconocida por el canal SFL-CW del sur de la Florida, Canal 19, como una super maestra en el programa de superhéroes en nuestras escuelas. La señora De Yarza enseña estudios jurídicos donde hace énfasis en las habilidades de oratoria y en el trabajo en equipo para ayudar a que sus estudiantes se preparen para la vida después de la escuela intermedia. Felicidades, señora De Yarza. También me gustaría tomar esta oportunidad de expresar mis mejores deseos a usted y a su familia durante esta época festiva. Que disfruten mucho estos días de fiesta y que el año nuevo los colme de salud, paz y buena voluntad. A todos los televidentes, muchas gracias por su interés en nuestras reuniones del sistema escolar del Condado de Miami-Dade. Muchas gracias por permitirme entrar en sus hogares de nuevo. Hasta la próxima, que tengan ustedes muy buenas noches y que Dios los bendiga a todos.
Good evening. I'm Maritere Rojas, your school board member for District 6, representing the areas of Brickell, Coconut Grove, City of Miami, Coral Gables, Kendall, Key Biscayne, Little Havana, Old Cutler, Shenandoah, South Miami, and Westchester. Thank you for tuning in to our meeting today and keeping up with our work in Miami-Dade County Public Schools. I am very happy to share with you that over the past 3 weeks, I have had the opportunity to visit half of the schools in the district. When I began my term of office 3 weeks ago, one of my goals and priorities was to visit every school in the district prior to winter break. Today, I am pleased to report that I am on schedule to meet that goal. It has been a truly remarkable experience to meet so many of our principals, teachers, students, staff, and parents at each school. I witnessed incredible passion, dedication to our students, and been inspired by the amazing educators in our classrooms. I have found administrators and school-sized staff working diligently toward improving the quality of education our children receive and committed to maximizing student achievement. Last month, I also had the opportunity to attend the 2016 Principal Today Kickoff Breakfast at Jungle Island. It was wonderful to see so many of our principals in attendance and meeting the individuals who would be serving as principals for a day in our schools. Thank you for volunteering your time for this initiative. I hope each of you had an excellent day in our schools. In other news, this past week, I had the pleasure of joining the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 349, for their Friends of Labor Luncheon. It was a great opportunity to connect with our local union of electrical workers, as well as other elected officials, and share some holiday cheer. Also last week, I visited Riverside Elementary School for a special event with the Miami Heat. Through its flagship Community Affairs initiative, Heat Academy, the Miami Heat has embraced the importance of providing children in South Florida with the opportunity to have a quality after-school program with an academic purpose at its core. The Academy is fully funded by the Miami Heat and its corporate partners, and its primary goal is to provide economically disadvantaged and at-risk students with a program of after-school tutoring and academic enrichment. At the Academy, students practice reading, writing, math, and science, receive assistance with homework, have a safe place to learn after school, and most importantly, learn from positive role models who inspire our students to excel. Special thanks to the Heat Academy for bringing their program to the students of Riverside Elementary School and for providing educational support to over 300 students across our district. And last but not least, I want to wish you all a blessed and joyful holiday season. May you spend this special time of the year surrounded by your loved ones, and may you enjoy the gifts of love, family, and joy. Wishing you a joyful, healthy, and prosperous new year. That concludes my update for this month. To keep up with happenings across District 6, make sure to follow me on social media. The links can be found at the bottom of your screen. Facebook at Maritere Rojas, M-DCPS. Twitter at Maritere Rojas, M-DCPS. Instagram at Maritere, M-DCPS. Buenas noches. Mi nombre es Maritere Rojas y soy su representante en la Junta Escolar por el Distrito 6. Represento las áreas de Brickell, Ciudad de Miami, Coconut Grove, Coral Gables, Kendall, Key Biscayne, La Pequeña Habana, Old Cutler, Shenandoah, South Miami y Westchester. Gracias por sintonizar nuestra reunión del día de hoy y mantenerse al tanto de nuestro trabajo en las escuelas públicas. Me complace compartir con ustedes que a lo largo de las últimas 3 semanas he tenido la oportunidad de visitar a la mitad de las escuelas en el distrito. Desde que comencé mi término como representante a la Junta Escolar hace 3 semanas, una de mis metas y prioridades ha sido visitar a cada escuela en el distrito antes de las vacaciones del invierno. Hoy me complace informarles que estoy en camino a cumplir esa meta. Ha sido una experiencia maravillosa conocer a tantos de nuestros maestros, estudiantes, padres y personal administrativo en cada escuela. He podido ver increíble pasión y dedicación a nuestros estudiantes y me han inspirado diariamente los talentosos maestros que tenemos en nuestras aulas. En cada visita me he encontrado con administradores y personal de escuelas trabajando con dedicación hacia la meta de mejorar la calidad de educación para nuestros estudiantes. Este pasado mes también tuve la oportunidad de asistir al evento de inauguración de la iniciativa anual del distrito, Director por un Día. Me alegró mucho ver a tantos de nuestros directores de escuela participando y conocer a los voluntarios comunitarios que estarían como directores de escuela por un día. Gracias por su servicio y por donar su tiempo para esta iniciativa. Espero hayan tenido un excelente día en nuestras escuelas. En otras noticias, esta pasada semana tuve el placer de acompañar a los miembros del local 349 de la Asociación Internacional de Electricistas para su evento de Amigos de la Fuerza Laboral. Disfruté mucho del evento y tuve la oportunidad de compartir con nuestros trabajadores locales y oficiales electos de la comunidad. Gracias por la invitación. También la semana pasada Visité la escuela Riverside Elementary para un evento especial con el Miami Heat. Por medio de su principal programa de relaciones comunitarias, la Academia Heat, el Miami Heat, ha resaltado la importancia de proveer a nuestros niños en el sur de la Florida con programas después de la escuela, de alta calidad y con un enfoque académico. La academia es patrocinada en su totalidad por el Miami Heat y sus compañías aliadas del sector privado. Su objetivo principal es proveer un programa después de la escuela, de tutoría y con un enfoque académico para estudiantes de bajos recursos. En la academia, los estudiantes practican lectura, escritura, matemática y ciencia, reciben asistencia con las tareas y tienen un espacio seguro a donde ir después de la escuela. Muchas gracias al Miami Heat por traer esta academia a los estudiantes de la escuela Riverside Elementary y por proveer apoyo académico a más de 300 estudiantes a lo largo del condado. Por último, quiero desearles una feliz y bendecida Navidad, Hanukkah y Kwanzaa. Espero que pasen esta especial temporada del año rodeados de sus seres queridos y de los regalos de amor, familia y paz. De igual manera, les deseo un feliz, próspero nuevo año lleno de salud y felicidad. Esto concluye mis informes por este mes. Para aprender más acerca de lo que ocurre en el Distrito 6, conéctese conmigo en las redes sociales siguiendo los enlaces que aparecen en su pantalla. Facebook, Maritere Rojas, M-DCPS, Twitter, @Maritere M-DCPS, Instagram, @Maritere M-DCPS.
Good evening. I am Blue B. Navarro, School Board Member representing District 7. It is always a pleasure for me to visit with all the viewers and share some news about our school district and school happenings in District 7. It was a pleasure to host my District 7 education chat at Christina M. Eve Elementary School on Thursday, December 1st, to inform parents and community partners about the district's bullying prevention program, school safety, and exceptional student education programs, and upcoming District 7 projects and events. It was great to have so many caring members of our community join our principals on December 8th in a day of service as Principal Today, a business school partnership program that benefits our students as community members come and learn about our schools by participating and serving as Principal for Today in all of our schools. On December 5th, I had the great pleasure of being interviewed by students from Terra Educational Research Center about the legislative process for their C-SPAN project. It is incredible to see the interest and commitment our students have in our legislative process. Last Friday, I celebrated with Miami Southridge Senior High School as they sent off their football team to the Florida High School Athletic Association's 8A State Championship in Orlando. It was exciting to participate with students and staff and share in their Spartan spirit. On Saturday, December 10th, I attended the Florida High School Athletic Association State Championship football game and held at the Camping World Stadium in Orlando. Our Miami Southridge Senior High School Spartans football team defeated the Dr. Phillips Panthers in a 14-10 win. They demonstrated the incredible athletic ability and a commitment to being students first and athletes second. I would like to congratulate the whole Spartan family, especially the team, that head coach William Billy Roll. Coach Roll has been a coach for more than 18 years and has become the first coach in Florida history to lead 3 different large division high schools to a state championship, and now he has led our Miami Southridge Spartans to its 3rd state title. Congratulations again, Principal Humberto Miret, Athletic Director Mr. Sean Carney, Coach Billy Roll, the coaching staff, students, parents of the Miami Southridge Senior High School football team for an exemplary season and for their championship performance on and off the fields. Go Spartans. Here is our medal, which we received at the game this Saturday. Congratulations, Spartans. I would like to congratulate the Kenwood K-8 Center, Devonair K-8 Center, and Christina M. Eve Elementary School, Claude Pepper Elementary School, Herbert Ammons Middle School, Candale Elementary School, Hammocks Middle School, Candale Lakes Elementary School, Sunset Park Elementary School, William Lehman Elementary School, and lastly, Winston Park K-8 Center for being honored by the state and receiving the 5-Star Award for Community and Parental Involvement. These are schools in District 7. An honor well reserved. Again, congratulations. I would like to also congratulate our district's principal, assistant principals, teacher, and rookie teachers of the year, especially the South Region finalists who were all represented by District 7 schools. Congratulations to Principal of the Year, Ms. Maria Acosta from Herbert Ammons Middle School, Assistant Principal of the Year, Mr. Robinson from Winston Park K-8 Center, and Teacher of the Year, Ms. Laura Ortiz from Robert Morgan Educational Center, and Ms. Anne Marie Zambrano, Rookie Teacher of the Year, finalist of South Miami Heights Elementary School. We will be having our second annual showcase and toy distribution event this Saturday on December 17th at Jorge Mascanosa Middle School. District 7 is collecting toys until December 16th as part of our toy drive to help bring joy to the neediest children in District 7. I would like to thank the following elected officials for joining me in our toy drive: State Senator Frank Artiles, State Representative Jeanette Nunez, and our Miami-Dade County Commissioner Joe Martinez and myself have joined together to be able to bring greetings and joy to our children in our community. The drop-off locations will be at Jorge Mascanosa Middle School. For more information about the District 7, please visit our website. For further assistance, call our office at 305-995-1334. Thank you for your interest in our Miami-Dade County School Board meetings, and thank you for allowing me into your homes. Until next time, have a good evening, stay well, and may all good things be with you. I wish you all a happy holiday season. To all, stay safe, enjoy this special time with your family. God bless you, and may you have a fantastic 2017. See you back in school on January 9th, 2017. Buenas noches, les deseo, ahora cuando el año se termina, a todos los televidentes de nuestras reuniones de las juntas escolares, unas buenas y bonitas fiestas, especialmente a nuestra comunidad hispana. Les deseo una feliz Navidad, un próspero año nuevo, que el año nuevo entre con mucha felicidad y con mucha salud. Un gran 2017, y también le deseo a toda nuestra comunidad hispana un bonito día de los Reyes de los Magos. Felicidades y los vemos otra vez en enero 9 cuando comienzan las clases otra vez después del receso de Navidad. Felicidades, muy buenas noches.
Good evening. We invite you to participate in our 18th annual holiday book giveaway on Wednesday, December 21st from 5 to 7 p.m. at Miami Coral Park Senior High. All students receive a free book and participate in fun activities. The evening is capped by a lively raffle with some great prizes, including a laptop computer. I look forward to seeing you. Winter recess this year begins Monday, December 26th, and it lasts until Friday, January the 6th, 2017. Classes resume on Monday, January 9th, 2017. We wish everyone a happy and safe holiday season with your family and friends. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Larry Feldman, School Board Chair and District 9 Representative. Here are a few short notes and updates since my last address just a few weeks ago. I'll start the sharing with, once again, I had the honor and pleasure of sponsoring an item to bring awareness to the topic of human trafficking. January will be recognized as National Slavery and Human Trafficking Month throughout Miami-Dade County Public Schools and the Division of Student Services and School Police, in conjunction with my office, have spearheaded this effort to educate students, parents, and community members and our stakeholders. I'd like to thank the county's Women's Commission, National Council for Women, and the Department of Homeland Security for their support of this item, and look forward to working together to ensure the safety of our children and those most vulnerable to this devastating and increasingly trending crime. I'd also like to thank our teachers and counselors who have received training in spotting the warning signs of those most susceptible to these types of crimes and for their preventive work in our area. Also, at today's school board meeting, I had the pleasure of recognizing the work of some very special students and teachers. Paolo Sesti, a student in the 8th grade at Arthur and Polly Mays Conservatory of the Arts, won the 2016 Best Middle School Award at the All-American High School Film Festival in New York City for his short film, Isolation. Paolo also won the 2016 Writing Track Poetry Competition and All-State for Film Excellence for False Awakening. He is a well-rounded student with community service, achieving Superior Honor Roll, and studies broadcasting. Starla Santana, a freshman at Miami Palmetto Senior High School, was chosen as a member of the 2016 Taekwondo Female USA Junior team in 55-kilogram division. Starla recently competed at the Olympic Training Center in Colorado and has qualified to represent the United States in the Junior World Championship tournament taking place in Canada. She has decided to forge a path in the martial arts, a traditionally male-dominated sport, and has created her own exciting style of fighting. Starla believes she can be an inspiration to other young women in the community by proving that combat sports are not only for her male counterparts. We also recognize Frank Marion III, a Miami-Dade County Public Schools teacher of over 12 years, who served as a special education teacher at Homestead Senior High for the last 7 years. The loving father of 2 boys, he was introduced to the Special Olympics in 2011 and has coached outstanding athletes every year since in soccer, basketball, football, bocce, and track. He has an appreciation for the tenacious spirit and the wonderful abilities of these athletes and their unparalleled courage and determination. In 2015 and 16, he coached his students at the historical Penn Relays in Philadelphia, where they won back-to-back gold medals in the 4x100 relay, silver in the United 4x100 relay, and took home 1 gold, 2 silver, and 1 bronze in the 100-meter race. Mr. Marion was named the 2016 Special Olympics Coach of the Year at the Special Olympics Gala in September. A special treat was enjoyed by Miss Luby Navarro and myself as we joined the football team from Miami Southridge Senior High at the Florida High School 8A Championship in Orlando Saturday. Joining the Legends team and almost 2,000 Southridge fans, family, and neighbors, we lost our voices, as you can tell, as Southridge returned to the winner's circle as the state of Florida champions. It's been a long 17 years since their last visit and 23 years since their last football state championship. They have never given up, and on Saturday, they demonstrated the pride and determination of a school's renaissance. Congratulations, Miami Southridge and Brandon James, who received the Junior Orange Bowl's academic trophy for the highest GPA on the team. Now, updating our District 9 news, our first of 3 District 9 Town Hall and award ceremonies for the 2016-17 school year just took place this Monday at Palmetto Senior High. Over 100 students, 2 from each of the District 9 schools, were honored for their academic and citizenship efforts. The town hall was attended by proud families, elected officials, community members, and our principals as we celebrated the dedication and commitment of our students. Congratulations to each of them. A special thank you goes out to the Hispanic Police Officers Association and Mrs. Rosen, a 3rd grade teacher from Vineland, K-8, for their special holiday presents to our students of need in Homestead last night. Mrs. Rosen's class contributed 600 presents just by themselves. Great job, Mrs. Rosen. Hi. With just a few short weeks before our winter break in 2017, on behalf of my team of Jackie, Addis, Corey, Mora, I'd like to take this opportunity to wish our students, employees, and families, my colleagues on the school board, and all of our citizens a most joyous and blessed holiday season. Please stay tuned for pictures of events and student activities that will leave no doubt as to why our school district continues to give the students a world. Have a blessed winter holiday in the company of those you love and care about, and have a very happy and healthy, safe new year. Good night, my friends.
Greetings. I am Dr. Dorothy Bendros Mendengal, your school board member for District 2. It is my honor and pleasure to share with you the following announcements. I would like to congratulate the parents of Benjamin Franklin K-8 Center for their total commitment to their children. They were complete champions last evening as they spoke up for them at their ESAC meeting. On December 5th, I was excited to visit Island TV's show, Law, Politics, and Society, and speak about our Save the Babies Haiti Relief Drive efforts. From November 1st to 30th, I encouraged our community to donate baby items for the victims of Hurricane Matthew, and the response was overwhelming. I want to personally thank all who donated and our community partners who assisted in ensuring the children in Haiti received these much-needed items. I am grateful to all who understand the importance of giving back. Also on December 5th, I had the distinct honor of bringing greetings and paying tribute to the late Henry Goa at the 3rd annual tree lighting ceremony held at Charles Hadley Park. Thanks to the Goa family, AARP, Northwest Miami Chapter 4686, Hadley Park Coalition, and Miami Chairman Keon Hardiman, District 5, for hosting this wonderful and joyous event for our community. In honor of the life and legacy of Mr. Henry Goa, we pledge to always keep his light shining. On December 6th, I met with some of the brightest students at ITech, Thomas A. Edison Educational Center in Little Haiti. I want to thank the students for sharing your incredible educational experiences with me and for producing a brand new website for District 2. Great job to Principal Nassar, Assistant Principal Claremont, staff, teachers, and parents for supporting our amazingly talented students. 4 lucky schools in District 2 were invited to attend FIU's holiday celebration for children at their Modesto Medique campus on December 8th, 2016. Congratulations to our deserving students at Charles R. Drew K-8 Center, Frederick Douglass Elementary, Jesse J. McCrary Jr. Elementary, and Liberty City Elementary School for receiving toys, bikes, and even laptops, courtesy of generous sponsors. Thank you, FIU, Santa, and sponsors for giving our children a wonderful Christmas. On December 9th, I was thrilled to attend How to Code presentations at Dr. Henry W. Mack West Little River K-8 Center. Thanks to Principal Kamula Os, Code Fever Miami founders, Felicia Hatcher and Derek Pearson, Ryan Hall, the Urban League of Greater Miami, teachers and staff for coordinating this educational opportunity for our students. Go Wildcats! On December 12th, I was proud to join Miami Chairman Keon Hardeman, District 5, students, educators, and community in presenting the key to the city of Miami to Coach Carmen Jackson at Miami Northwestern Senior High School. Thank you, Coach Jackson, for all you have done to inspire so many of our female athletes. Go Bulls! Also on December 12th, I was excited to visit and speak with Principal Dr. Omar Montiguo, administration staff, and students at the School for Advanced Studies at Miami-Dade College North Campus. Thanks to Dr. Montiguo, teachers, and staff for educating our extremely bright students. Go White Tigers! As we approach the holidays, I am again calling on our community to come together to stop the violence that is affecting our children. Too many lives are being lost due to senseless gun violence. And this year alone, we have had to bury too many young children and innocent bystanders. As we mourn with the victims' families, let us continue to promote unity and peace in our community and make sure those who commit these crimes are brought to justice. Let us join Mrs. Dominique Brown and community as we rally for justice for Jada every Thursday at 6 p.m. on the corner of 95th Street and 17th Avenue. I stand with all who are committed to forging solutions to break the cycle of gun violence. Together, we can save our children. In closing, I want to wish everyone a safe and wonderful Christmas holiday, a happy Hanukkah, a happy Kwanzaa, happy New Year, Joyeux Noel. I will see you on the journey. God bless.
Good evening. I am Susie Castillo, your school board member for District 5, representing the areas of South Hialeah, Doral, Miami Springs, Virginia Gardens, Fontainebleau, Flagler, and Miami. I want to begin this month by congratulating Miami Springs Senior High art teacher Ms. Beth Goldstein. Ms. Goldstein was featured on the CW's Superheroes in our schools for her extraordinary teaching skills and constant dedication to her art students that has earned her this prestigious Southeastern Region Secondary Art Educator Award. Thank you, Ms. Goldstein, for all of your hard work. We are very lucky to have you. Last week, I had the opportunity to host the first ever Piano Slam Family Literacy Night at Miami Springs Middle School in collaboration with the Dranoff II Piano Foundation. As part of the Literacy Night, students and their families were invited to a sit-down dinner where they were able to witness live poetry readings by our talented students and teacher. Special thanks goes out to science teacher Mr. Jeremy Stegmeyer for his incredible leadership, without which this event would not have been possible. I would also like to thank the administration at Miami Springs Middle School, Ms. Jennifer Cabrera and Mr. Michael De Armas, for their warm welcome into their school, as well as Ms. Carlene Sawyer and Ms. Deborah Magdalena from the Dranoff II Piano Foundation for helping us bring this wonderful program into our schools. Earlier this month, the Attendance Boundary Committee held its final hearing for the schools selected for the 2016-2017 school year. Indicating schools in need of boundary changes is a first step in the lengthy process of changing school attendance boundaries. School boundary changes approved by the school board will take effect at the beginning of the 2017-2018 school year. In our district, Dr. Rolando Espinosa K-8 Center, Eugenia B. Thomas K-8 Center, John I. Smith K-8 Center, and Ronald Reagan Doral Senior High School may be eligible for boundary changes. Regions will hold community meetings from January 17, 2017 to February 6, where boundary recommendations will be presented to members of the affected communities. At these meetings, the community will be given an opportunity to share their input with district staff. We will be providing the dates and locations of these meetings when they become available. I encourage all parents of students attending these schools to participate in these meetings. Finally, I would like to congratulate Ronald Reagan Doral Senior High School students Juan Cruz Gamero and Nicholas Schuner and Carolina Aguilar for placing second in Congressman Mario Diaz-Balart's Congressional App Challenge with their app, Homework Tracker. The app, designed and created entirely by the students, helps students schedule a time to do their homework and also get reminders of when their homework is due. The impressive app is available through Google Play and on all Android phones. Congratulations to you all for a very well-deserved recognition. I would like to thank Congressman Mario Diaz-Balart and his staff for putting together this amazing challenge, which has inspired so many of our students. That concludes the update for this month. For more of what's happening in our district and the latest from Miami-Dade County Public Schools, follow me on social media. Links can be found on my website, district5dadeschools.net. I wish you all a very warm and happy holiday season and a happy new year. Have a great evening and God bless. Buenas noches. Les habla Susi Castillo, su comisionada de la Junta Escolar, por el Distrito 5, representando las áreas del sur de Hialeah, Doral, Miami Springs, Virginia Gardens, Fontainebleau, Flagler y la ciudad de Miami. Quiero comenzar este mes felicitando a la maestra de arte de Miami Springs Senior High, la señora Beth Goldstein. La señora Goldstein fue presentada en el segmento de los superheroes en nuestras escuelas del canal CW por sus extraordinarias habilidades de enseñanza y su constante dedicación a sus estudiantes de arte. Gracias, señora Goldstein, por todo lo que hace por nuestros estudiantes. Somos muy afortunados de tenerte. La semana pasada tuve la oportunidad de presentar la primera noche de literacia familiar del programa Piano Slam en Miami Springs Middle School, en colaboración con la Fundación Dranoff 2 Piano. Como parte de la noche de literacia, los estudiantes y sus familias fueron invitados a una cena en donde los estudiantes presentaron sus poesías en vivo. Un agradecimiento especial al maestro de ciencia, el señor Jeremy Stegmeyer, por su increíble liderazgo y pasión por la ciencia, sin el cual este evento no hubiera sido posible. Quiero agradecerle a los subdirectores de Miami Springs Middle School, la señora Jennifer Cabrera y el señor Michael de Armas y su equipo por hacer esta noche tan especial. También quiero agradecerles a la señora Carlene Sawyer y a la señora Deborah Magdalena de la Fundación Dranoff 2 Piano por ayudarnos a traer este maravilloso programa a nuestra escuela. A principios de este mes, el Comité de Límites de Asistencias anunció la lista final de las escuelas seleccionadas para el año escolar 2016-2017. La selección de las escuelas es el primer paso en el largo proceso de cambiar los límites de asistencia escolar, que determinan qué estudiante atiende cuál escuela en nuestro distrito. Los cambios en los límites escolares aprobados por la Junta Escolar tendrán efecto al comienzo del año escolar 2017-18. En nuestro distrito, las siguientes escuelas están elegibles para cambios de límites: Dr. Orlando Espinosa K-8 Center, Eugenia B. Thomas K-8 Center, John I. Smith K-8 Center y Ronald Reagan Doral Senior High serán elegibles. El distrito tendrá reuniones comunitarias entre el 17 de enero y el 6 de febrero de 2017, donde se presentarán recomendaciones de límites a los miembros de las comunidades afectadas. En estas reuniones, la comunidad tendrá la oportunidad de compartir sus opiniones con el personal del distrito. Estaremos anunciando las fechas y ubicaciones de estas reuniones cuando estén finalizadas. Animo a todos los padres a participar en estas reuniones. Por último, quisiera felicitar a los estudiantes de Ronald Reagan Doral Senior High, Juan Cruz Gamero, Nicholas Schnur y Carolina Aguilar por quedar en segundo lugar en el Congressional App Challenge, presentado por el congresista Mario Díaz-Balart. Ganaron con su aplicación Homework Tracker. La aplicación, diseñada y creada totalmente por los estudiantes, ayuda a los estudiantes a organizar su tiempo para hacer la tarea. La impresionante aplicación está disponible a través de Google Play en todos los teléfonos Android. Felicitamos a todos por su muy merecido reconocimiento. Quiero darle las gracias al congresista Mario Díaz-Balart y a su equipo por haber organizado esta competencia que ha inspirado a tantos de nuestros estudiantes. Esto concluye mis informes de este mes. Para más información sobre lo que sucede en nuestro distrito, sígueme en las redes sociales. Los enlaces están en mi página web, district5.dayschools.net. Les deseo unas felices días de fiestas junto a sus seres queridos y un próspero año nuevo. Feliz noche y que Dios los bendiga.
Yes, he was here.
Thank you. What time exactly?
He got here about 1:30 and left just before 3.
And you were here, were you, Mr. Batchett? With your telephoto lens?
I was supervising the session, yes.
And did that session include the use of a fake man trap too?
I know what you must think of us, Inspector.
You do?
Most of our courses are genuine, you know, but some involve a little harmless role-playing.
Needs must, Inspector. I was an accountant, but something went a little bit wrong with my company.
Most of them went to prison, actually.
So, we needed to start again. In order to survive. It's actually brought us closer together, hasn't it, darling?
Jeremy never thought working from home could be such fun.